Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Planet Film Network, and welcome back to Planet Film Live. I'm one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell, and today we welcome back Mr. Brandon Friedman.
Ooh.
Hello, Brandon.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Always fun.
You look like you're dressed like Lil Romeo.
I mean, I'm just trying.
Like that angle right there?
Yeah, I'm really trying to just be comfortable. It's been winding down for school.
It's been.
No, yeah.
Right?
What?
What's that song? All right, never mind. Yeah, welcome, guys. This is the show, the one and only. TJ, if you want to model this beautiful.
Is it? It's out of frame.
Well, it's okay. They get
They've seen it. They've seen it. It's one of the three shitty posters.
It's one of the exactly.
The international one.
Yeah, the international one's the only one that's good.
Oh no, you said there was another one with that was black.
But it was like it wasn't even. I don't even think it was a real poster. I think they just dragged 3 assets onto a frame and just sent it.
Okay. Well,
I've never seen. Yeah, literally, I've never seen a poster before that just had black. It was just like there was nothing.
Can you press record on?
Oh
Audacity?
gosh.
Can you make also? Let's make sure it's the right.
It is.
Source. Okay.
Is that the record button?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Boom. Okay.
Boom.
Hello,
Okay. Here we go. Welcome for
listeners.
the audio listeners. I am Sean Monk.
I am TJ Cornwell.
And I am back. My name is Brandon Friedman.
Boom. All right. Thank you. So as you can tell from the title, we are going to be ranking the Spider-Man movies. Raimi trilogy, Garfield, Holland, and then Spider-Verse.
Sprinkled in there somewhere.
I don't know if there's anything we want to talk about before we get into that.
Well, I think in honor of Spider-Man No Way Home, I think we should talk. I think we can all decide whether it's before or after, but I think we should talk a little bit about what we're expecting / some last-minute theories, predictions on tape to hold ourselves to. I think we should start with Brandon because we know some things that we wish we didn't know. That's not crazy things, but it's some things.
Yeah, so like I will say that I tried to give this the darkest like start that I ever could like think about because I really tried to just like cut myself off. I guess I should have done what you did and just completely cut off social media. Completely.
Yeah, for context, I completely uninstalled all my social media like 3 days ago.
And I will explain because seeing Willem Dafoe come
welcome
back
everybody.
As the Green Goblin.
Real quick, make sure you're talking into this. Right
Finish it.
And not talking to the top.
The back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or is this audio
okay.
technica?
Yeah.
All right.
Just
so
I just want
maybe
to
I'll
make sure
hold
it
like
catches
this. All right, yeah.
your voice.
So I didn't even know Willem Dafoe was actually confirmed. I knew Alfred Molina obviously from the trailers, but I just saw his interview.
Oh, you did watch the trailer. Okay.
Yeah, so I did watch the trailer, and like I haven't watched any of the extended trailers or anything like that have come out since the one when tickets went on sale before Cyber Monday. So aside from that, I've just really tried to keep away from it. But the only expectation, obviously, is going to be if the other two will return as their roles of Peter Parker in the movie, and I think it would be a pretty big disappointment and missed opportunity if we do not capitalize on that. But I mean, I think they've done a good job of trying to hide it if they do have that, and I mean, it's going to be a good movie regardless because I think that just the whole reboot of this version of Spider-Man and Peter Parker have been quite successful compared to the recent ones, but I'll get into more of that when we go over our reviews. But other than that, just hoping that it's above and beyond what I can walk in there for. So I'm not high expectations, but like if that doesn't hit, then it's going to be like, oh, all right, well, whatever. It's going to be a good movie, but that'll like blow off the roof if I see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire return. So
absolutely.
What do you expect?
Well,
hoping for, I guess.
I will say, my prediction is I think they will be in it. I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna go for a different thing. I'm gonna say far out prediction. I think we will see the return of either. I won't commit to both, but we will see the return of either Michael Keaton's Vulture or Mysterio. And I think in a significant way, I mean. I think there's a lot of this. Well, they have already told us because if Toby and Andrew are in it, there's a lot that we haven't seen. Most of the market now. On your note about you haven't watched TV spots or stuff like that, I normally am the king of I stay away from all that stuff. With this movie, I actually was like, I watched the first TV spot, and then I watched the second one, and then I just watched all of them because everything they've released has been the same, has been genuinely the same 10 scenes of footage.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Nothing has been different. Nothing else has been revealed from any other scene. Like, there's no random shot that's like, oh, what about that one? Like, you know what I mean? The only thing that I can even think of that has only had one shot was in the first trailer when he's running through like the kitchen. It looks like
we
he's running
assume
through
it's Feast.
Yeah. It looks like he's running through like Feast. That's the only thing that I can think of. That there was that one shot of that scene, and that's the only thing that we've seen from that. Everything else has been the bridge scene with Doc Ock, the final. I would assume it's not the final battle of the movie, the Statue of Liberty. I think there's something bigger going on. But then, well, let's actually go with that for a second. Do we think that the Statue of Liberty fight is the final thing of the movie, or do we think that's more like a mid thing?
No, that seems like a final thing. I don't know, because I think actually I don't want to go into it because you said you've been avoiding everything.
So like
So
I said,
I don't
like,
want
Well,
to
you
like,
said you
like,
watched the trailers.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
like
Yeah.
I said, the only part I had just caught up to the part, like I said, like Willem Dafoe actually speaks in the one trailer, and I saw that earlier, I think yesterday or the day before, and I was just like, geez, they actually like confirmed that he's actually like. There were people speculating like, oh, it's going to be Harry Osborn's Hobgoblin from the other one, but like, what is it going to be really? And like, they were trying to like slow down the shots when it first came out, so like, I didn't actually know until then, but like, so the last fight, I think it is, and I don't know if you're talking about this, is that definitely the Electro at night when you see the Sandman behind him, when you see them all like fighting. I think that will be the final thing. I don't think that they're going to reveal that whole thing, but having that like it looks like it's a giant like focal point of the movie. Yeah, like there's clearly going to be a stage for that to be the big one. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's not the final, but like that could be like, I would be surprised if they tried to fit that in the middle and then pace it for the rest of the way.
Yeah, and then have something somehow even bigger at the end.
That seemed like that was pretty insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might be wrong on this, but I'm gonna say I don't think that's the final battle.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I'm basing that off of is Benedict Cumberbatch did say that, like, at a certain point, like, it is a Spider-Man movie, and like, you know, he has to fight. So I'm thinking maybe that's the final thing that like Doctor Strange is involved with. Yeah. But then maybe there's something that's like, okay, just Peter or Peter's, you know, have to take care of themselves or something like that. Or it could be the other way around, because there's been speculation that like at some point like Peter goes into another universe or something. So maybe he's separated from Doctor Strange in the middle of the movie, and then Doctor Strange does come back to help in like the final
I do really like
battle.
Doctor Strange. Yeah. I think but I think it is important to keep it a Spider-Man movie. And if
I mean, he's definitely in a decent chunk of the movie, considering he's on the poster.
No, absolutely.
So, you know, he's not going to be, like, in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think the big draw also is, like, the multiverse and, like, having them, like...
Right.
And it's really, this is the tee up for Multiverse of Madness. You know what I mean? Like,
which is...
As much as Loki was, as much as WandaVision was, this is the prelude to this is chapter 1 of the Multiverse of Madness, basically.
Right.
Which I think is exciting. What do you so you think it's not? You think it is the final battle?
Me? Yeah. Just like I don't know, from the
what do you guys think
from the gauge of like just like him kind of like he's like, oh, they're coming through, blah blah blah. Yeah. You know, that just like kind of tells me. I feel like that it's like the final thing, and you know, maybe they probably all come through whatever he's talking about. And then he's got to fight him off and everything. But I cannot. I'm just gonna like. I am so fucking hyped for this movie. Like I watched like 2 like spoiler-free reviews today.
Oh, you're crazy!
Or 1.
I know.
I'm a risk taker.
Yeah,
what
that's
am I gonna
insane.
do? But everybody was like, "This fucking movie is just like top 5 MCU for me." Like
interesting though that they're saying top 5 and not like higher. You know what I mean?
Right. That's why
Even
I
though
said.
that is very high.
But
when
like
you're talking about
Endgame is
30
like the
things.
payoff of 21 movies. It's like,
Yeah.
well, what are you gonna do with that? You know?
Right,
Yeah.
but I mean, you can even like you had it when we did our top 10, and we just talked about this. Is like Infinity War was ahead of that, and they're like,
Right.
there are movies that can be
That's true. Yeah.
more
yeah.
quality of like storytelling than just
Uh-huh.
like, but like I've talked to people. I mean, the friends I'm going to see it with have told me like, oh, I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers and everything, and then they're like, oh, well, now I'm gonna just look at everything. I follow all these people, and now I'm saying like,
Yeah,
oh,
I've-
it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and people are saying like,
Yeah.
it's the greatest Spider-Man movie, and like there are big surprises, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna do that?
I've
and
had
do
two
that?
things spoiled for me that I kind of assumed were gonna happen.
These are things that have been spoiled for you, but not the things I know, right?
And none of the things
Nothing
I know.
to do with John Campia.
No.
Okay,
No.
then-
No. The with him or yeah. Correct. Right.
Okay.
Just the two things I told you about today. Like I didn't tell you what they were, but I
Oh,
was
but
like,
the things that you freshly were spoiled.
basically,
Okay,
yeah.
right,
And
right,
I was like, oh, but I kind of assumed they were gonna
It's not
happen.
a bad list, Ryan.
So it was nothing.
Hennessy giving his own list in the chat, but I mean,
Nice.
I think that's pretty typical of how people would probably rate them usually.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I am surprised to see Amazing Spider-Man 2 over 1 though.
Oh, we'll get into it.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll get into our
Yeah.
our own opinions, but just a general consensus of just like watching the movie, hearing people talk about it around, and just like getting people's opinions is that it definitely started
including
off
the
stronger.
cast's opinions.
Right, it definitely started off stronger than it
Yeah.
than it was unfortunately wrapped up. But yeah,
Absolutely.
That was rough.
Okay, if you had to pick one surprise character, what do you got?
that's actually really good. I think that,
Obviously, that's not.
and this
the
is like
other
far
Spider-Man.
fetched. Like I don't want to be like cliche or anything, but like Aunt May from Amazing Spider-Man 2, I thought was really really good.
Mm-hmm.
So like seeing her again, or like
Sally
I doubt
Fields,
they would
right?
really tie that in because that would obviously be like really weird with
Mm-hmm.
the new Aunt May. But like I thought her character was really good. But just I don't know, like
Bring
character-
back Rosemary
I-
Harris, right? I think
But yeah,
there's a hero in all
I
of
think
us.
to your point before, I really do think it's going to be Mysterio as the sixth member of the Sinister
Yeah.
Six. Like I think
I think it's either Mysterio or
it has to be
Vulture.
like
Yeah.
John Beck's character was, I think, such a big draw to the other movie and like how
Yeah.
like, good it was, and like they also mentioned the multiverse in Far From Home. So like
Yeah, and also this
Right,
whole
yeah.
movie is because of Mysterio.
Yeah.
right, it's so
The
like
whole movie, like that's the entire
but
cause of
I
it.
guess you can then say like, oh well, he had his moment to then set up this movie. Now we're gonna give it the spotlight to someone else and like whatever.
Yeah,
like,
that could be possible. Yeah.
But I also really do like Michael Keaton's Vulture, and we
Mhm.
only had his like little snippet in the prison at the end of Homecoming.
Yeah.
So
And now he seems to be filming Vulture shit all over the place because he's in Morbius. He said on Jimmy Kimmel like
I
a
did
month
see
ago
that,
he's recording even more stuff, and he said he's recorded stuff that's not Morbius. So it sounds like that he's coming back in like a big way across a couple of different things. So maybe he is in this.
I think we get. I think there's a possibility of Tom Hardy.
Oh, and by the way, this and Batman were both shooting in London around the same time, or this and Flash. Sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Venom.
Michael Mando, right? That's his name.
Oh, Scorpion.
I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if he, because we haven't seen anything from him since
Yeah.
Homecoming, so I don't
Yeah.
know what his character's doing.
They like to introduce a lot of those characters in that movie. I
Yeah.
realize.
Oh, they do.
Like
Yeah,
Crusher
they
or
did.
whatever.
There's a ton
Yeah.
of
When I was watching, I was like, "Damn, that person, that
Yeah.
guy."
I feel like if we don't see
yeah,
Michael
Scorpion.
Mando in this, which by the way, I would love a Scorpion and Swordsman interaction with Tony Dalton
Oh,
and
yeah.
Michael Mando, little Better Call Saul
Reunion,
reunion in the
yeah.
MCU. Although we don't know where we
Yeah.
don't know. Those two characters left off in a very questionable spot at the end of the last season, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But they're both really great in their MCU roles too. Obviously,
I think really big prediction is I think Jared Leto shows up as Morbius.
not as Paolo Gucci.
No, not as Paulo Gucci. Oh boy.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Miles Morales.
But
Also
do you think Arthur
mentioned.
Fleck will show up?
No, I don't think Arthur
No?
Fleck will show
Not
up.
in his big
No.
underwear?
No.
Dang.
You think Miles will, or you think that's
No,
like an outside
it was
shot?
mentioned, but like I thought that I didn't even think of that. That would also be like awesome if they just
Yeah.
like threw that in there and then like
Yeah.
tried to play off that, but like that would also be great. Like
100%.
I think it'd be. They won't do it, and it won't happen. But I think it'd be so sick if there was like, if he is like jumping through universes, if he pops up in like a rendered PS4 universe, and he's like talking to Yuri Lowenthal.
That's
Spider-Man.
actually
like,
that's
that'd
actually
be so
a
cool.
big prediction that I had a couple months ago that I kind of fell off of, but I'll throw it out there. One of my predictions was that they might like, even if it is just a hopping thing or like a random 1 second thing, like maybe you have like Jake Johnson in there playing Peter B. Parker.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that
Like
too,
that would be awesome. Like bring that Spider-Man into live action, or even like Chris Pine. You know what I mean? As
he's like the first
original
one, right?
The one
the
that,
original, yeah.
No spoiler alert, but yeah, he was the original Peter in that movie. But yeah, I think any of them. Like I think anything's on the table except for Nicholas Hammond. Apparently, he said he's not in it, which I think is rude. Like I mean, if you, which like
is rude.
Well, like,
yeah,
you
just
think
straightforward, straight to.
You think like Lou Ferrigno got to like voice the Hulk in like 6 different MCU projects, and then like you can't even give Nicholas Hammond like 30 seconds on screen.
That's also like the
whatever.
what's his name? The Optimus Prime voice actor.
Yeah, Peter Cullen.
Yeah, Peter Cullen. Yeah. He's like Optimus Prime in everything.
Yeah.
Like all the TV shows and everything. Like and going back, like Amazing Spider-Man, that's like how I got hooked onto Spider-Man in the first place, was the original animated series, and like my brother was super into that, my older brother, and so like I got into that. So like that's where a lot of my like interest in Spider-Man came out way before even like the first like quote unquote comic book movie adaptation that they like really started this whole like hype train of the millennium. So I think that like if they do any kind of like callback to that too, because that was a huge series back then.
Yeah. Well, are you talking 60s or 80s one?
It wasn't in the 90s
or the 90s? It might have been.
Maybe it was earlier than that, but I just remember like watching it in the 90s. Like that was like the one that I always watched, like Saturday morning cartoons on FX or Fox Kids or whatever, and then like just getting super interested in that.
I know
so
exactly what you're talking about.
Hobgoblin, and I used to always I just remember like renting the book from the library every single week and just like re-renting it, and I'm just like I just want to keep learning about all these Spider-Man characters, and I learned like Aunt May dies, and I was like,
You're like, fuck.
yeah, like this is insane, like
This is
that
bullshit.
right. Shout out Glendale.
Yeah, I want a fucking refund for this library book. All right. Speaking of Aunt May, let's pivot to who do we think is dying? Do we think anybody's dying? I gotta say, check out at the Planet Film or at the official PFN on Instagram and TikTok. We are our official Happy Hogan stan account. I think my man's going out.
I think
he's going out
after you
hero.
pointed out to me in the trailer, I think you might be right. I think he might be done after.
I think
this
he's
movie.
going out. And you see Aunt May running, looking very upset.
If the two Spider-Mans return, either
one
one or both, they would have to like leave Peter, this version of Peter, to then be the final savior of whatever's going to be left. There's going to be something at the end. If anyone were to die, I doubt that anybody, like, I wouldn't want to.
Also, do we think that this would
Uncle
really
Ben.
suck, because I love their relationship on screen, off screen, whatever. Is MJ gone? Like, her falling in that thing, like, does Andrew Garfield, if he's in it, get his redemption?
Yeah,
Where
his
he,
redemption
like,
shot.
saves her, which I think that'd be fucking cool as hell. But there's always a possibility that she dies.
I think there is a very
Sick of Ned.
very strong.
Ned.
Sick of Ned. I like Ned.
I don't like how he went bald. Like he like.
Oh yeah.
It's just like he was like a comical relief character, obviously like a sidekick that movies like usually tend to make, but like he just like he just said in the chat, like I did get really sick of him. And
well, there was like
Far From Home.
there were like rumors that people I probably maybe cultivated by themselves.
No, I think he did, like that he wanted to be the villain.
That he might be Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin, yeah. I heard that he said that.
No, yeah, he said he wanted to, but then he lost weight, like unrelated, and people were like, he lost it for the role. And it's like he didn't lose.
Maybe
like, no offense to Jacob Batalon, but like he didn't lose like 200 pounds. He lost like 60 pounds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's still a big dude. Like, I don't know if he's like getting ripped to be like the Goblin. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think.
Also,
I mean, it could be eventually 100%, but But I don't think this
Hobgoblin
movie.
comes before Green Goblin, and that was another issue that when we get to it, that's why I like Spider-Man 1's version of Green Goblin, because they actually mentioned like the Hobgoblin.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they like talked about like when they're showing him his glider, and the very first scene with him, and like I caught it the first couple times I watched it, but then like it's now just like memory that like
Vanish it.
back to formula.
Yeah.
Oh,
what was I gonna say? I think my prediction for the end of this, because the thing is, we still have to resolve his identity being out.
We do.
That has to happen in this movie. I think at the end of this, I think it's gonna be him and Doctor Strange, and he's gonna say, "I got to do the spell, and it's got to be everyone." And I think
forgets.
I think that's what it has to be. I think he's gonna say everyone, like maybe but the Avengers kind of thing, like because like you still need him, you know what I mean? You still need that kind of. But I think he's gonna realize he's gonna be like, and then that will set the stage for Harry and Gwen and whoever in the college years. Like I think it's gonna be one of those things where MJ's gonna have to forget who he is. Ned's gonna have to forget who he is. Like I think that's for my prediction for the end of the movie. I think it's gonna end on a very downbeat.
They said it's dark and emotional,
and I think that's what it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be that nobody will remember him.
We're all gonna be sobbing. Like,
I don't need that.
I think that's what it's gonna be.
I'm ready for it.
Specifically MJ. I think specifically MJ is not going to know or have a relationship with Peter.
I should
at the end of the movie.
As long as they do the emotional scenes correctly, I tend to like
which the MCU is really good at. But we gotta make sure that like Feige was in charge of the emotional beats,
right?
Not Amy Pascal.
Even like the Gwen Stacy death in Amazing Spider-Man 2, like I thought that was like at least done like decently. So like I can watch that over and over again. Like if I watch like Uncle Ben die,
He's watched The Crunch over and over.
Well, like I said, like Qui-Gon dying, like that was like a very traumatic thing for me as a kid. So like Uncle Ben too, like it was just very like emotional for me, and it's like hard to rewatch movies that I like characters that I like connect to die, and like not saying that I was connected to Uncle Ben, but like it was just like I felt myself for Peter, because like losing a father figure like that would have been awful, but like so long as they like can get it, I can rewatch movies easily, and it's like actually enjoyable to watch. Like I understand that, and now I don't know. Maybe it's with age.
One thing
Ryan in the chat said, "R.I.P. my dog Tony Stark." Shout out you, Shady McCoy. Oh my God!
Did you see that he posted that he was going to see it last night?
Did he?
Yeah, he said, "People on Twitter, just letting you know."
Don't follow LaShawn McCoy.
Well, he said, "Just letting you know, like I am going to see Spider-Man, and you know how I do it." So like it's just like
I hated that. I remember I saw that. I was like, "Come on!" Like,
right. Speaking of which, number one spoil behind Dom dying in Gears of War 3 for those who play Gears of War. But sorry, but yeah, that being spoiled to me from high school was pretty awful.
I was actually just talking to our friend Paige, who's on the show a couple weeks ago, last night about one of the worst spoilers that I ever got that I was just like livid was actually Donald, who we work with at another theater. I've known Donald since high school, and so it was December 14th, it was December 15th, 2015, and he posted a meme that was just literally a picture of Kylo Ren killing Han 12 hours before I went to the movie.
That's awful.
And I literally was like, I was so furious. Like, I was so angry.
I remember people talking about it on the way out of that movie when I left. I was
that was a terribly held secret.
Well,
like
first showing of that at the theater that we go to is I like walked out and people were just talking about it, and I was just like, "Are you like people are waiting outside the theater like while they?"
Oh yeah, I have sent people home before. I've been like people like to stand just in like a big circle and talk about it. And I'm like, if you're gonna talk about spoilers, please, you have to leave. I like literally, I'm like, you have to leave.
That's something I like never did, but like I wish I did. Like I didn't think about that, but like maybe I didn't care.
Because like, what if somebody's going to the bathroom?
I did hate it at that moment. Like when I walked out of there with that knowledge.
Like, what if somebody's going to the bathroom?
I mean, each movie had that.
Yeah.
Like, and then you had Luke's death in 8, which.
Oh, that was one of the best moments of my entire career.
Right, so Brandon was on the news and buying Gears 3. I just watched that clip the other day again.
It's true.
Just Gears, man.
Just Gears. Man. I feel that bright light back on me right now. It is something I can never escape. I remember Mr. Newman. Shout out Mr. Newman from high school.
Yeah.
He came in that morning and goes, "Are you serious? You went out at midnight to get a video game and you're on the news." I had him for science class, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, like
just Gears.
Well,
they
were
Gears,
like, "Oh,
man.
we're gonna interview like people in the front of the line."
Yeah.
The first person in front of me was like, "I'm not gonna do it. Like, I don't want to do it." And I was just like, "I'll be on the news. Like, sure. Like, why not? I'm a 17-year-old kid. I just want to talk about one of my favorite game franchises. So let's just talk about it, man."
Just Gears, man.
Just Gears, man. So now that's like the saying that we always talk. It gets brought up in my Facebook every single year, and I have like 3 different instances where I like share it. So now like on 3 days where it's like, "Yo, your memories from today," and it's like the very corny, the recording of the newscast, and it was just
and before we beat the game, it was just Gears to me until we got to the last final boss fight. And it was a personal vendetta I had against this game because it was terrible to beat.
Is that when you were getting heated?
Oh,
because
I've never heard him so mad at anything.
Well, I heard it's because you were wanting to play on the hardest difficulty.
Because he's playing on Insane, and me and Travis are on hardcore.
Yeah.
And Insane, he gets shot like 3-4 times,
and he's done.
He dies.
Yeah.
We go down.
Yeah,
he dies.
Go down. I die. And it restarts the mission. It restarts from the checkpoint.
Oh my gosh!
But the reason, I went on Insane because I had beaten the games multiple times, and I had played the games through hardcore. For all the people that know me, I have an obsession with trying to get achievements for video games. So like, I was just like, hey, you two can help me out. I'm not gonna do this on my own, so might as well do it with other people. Travis started, I think, on the easiest difficulty because he just likes to chainsaw people. Because who wouldn't? But like, then I was like. I guess he like took it as like a personal shot when I was like,
he did, yeah.
Yeah, TJ's on hardcore and I'm on Insane, and he's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go on hardcore then. So he just like did it, and I have never heard TJ get so mad at a video game because he was just like, I was just like, let's just do it like one more time. No, I'm done. And TJ left the party, and I was just like. All right, Travis.
It was,
and I was like, Travis, do you just want to try to get to like the next checkpoint? And so like we spent like maybe like another half hour, me and him, and Travis was like silent because he like he was pretty fed up with it. I was pretty fed up with it, but like because we'd only been playing for like maybe like an hour, but like there were instances in that game where we spent probably like 3 or 4 hours doing the same thing. Like,
like 3 or 4 hours is generous.
Absolutely terrible.
I wish we could. I wish there was like a status of how many times we restarted, but we probably restarted like that little like
loop
port like at least 100 times.
Oh,
like,
easily
100
times. But like the other thing is like I also told them like it was even more frustrating because like I knew how bad it was to like always get restarted by me, but then when we get restarted because of one of them, I'm like, I actually survived. How could you not survive?
Yeah.
And like Travis, like,
wow,
I just want to go.
I was just trying. Yeah.
Like and he was always mad at the bot. Come on, you piece of shit. Come over here and revive me.
And then at one point,
It's not so much about.
I said multiple times. I was like, "This is the fucking game that Microsoft Game Studios put out. Fuck this." I was like, "This shit sucks."
We will see how the eventual other games play out, but
long story short, we beat it because it was like a week ago. I was like, fuck this, because Brandon was under the impression that we had to restart a whole chapter instead of an act in a chapter.
No, the other way around. We had to restart.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
So we restarted. We like went to the home screen. We're like, okay, I switched to like casual, easy. Travis switched to casual
after a lot of arguing.
After like a lot of arguing, and then Brandon like went to Act 6. I think it's Act 6, right? Act 5. And then he was like, "Oh, I think you have to restart from the act. Like you can't restart chapters in the act."
Which an act probably that would take us probably a night. So like it would have to take it. We had already been at it for maybe like an hour and a half that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I got to the point where I was just like, all right, we're backing out. We're redoing this. Like, I am not listening to both you get upset. I'm not getting upset myself because like, to be fair, those were pretty impossible. Like it was just. we got pretty far, and like the game screwed us. Like the game really hated us. Like we got to the point where like it just like was like, no, you're not gonna win today. Like we actually did everything right. It was like, no, you're gonna. We didn't even die. She blew up the station. She burned.
We didn't do it quick enough.
Yeah, we didn't do it quick enough. So whatever. But like, man, it's just.
And then we restarted when me and Travis were on easier difficulty, and we beat it in literally 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. And I was just like, all right, well, we should have done this maybe like 4 weeks ago. Because every week, it is a struggle to get everybody on with everybody working and everything.
Yeah.
It's just like a struggle to get on. So like when we finally get on and then we waste 2 hours doing absolutely no progress, it is incredibly frustrating. But yeah, that was Gears of War. That's something
that sounds like fun.
about.
Oh my god.
Oh
God. I kind of wish I was streaming that, so I had the recording.
You gotta stream Guardians.
I told you I gotta finish MGS2 before I stream Guardians. I went through I went through a big chunk of it 2 days ago, and then when I get home, I think Danielle's gonna be editing, so I'm gonna try to play.
Okay. Let's get into the list.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's go.
Here
Are we
go.
doing?
Right.
We're doing. I think we decided we should do the regular way we do.
Yeah.
Because we'll have time and what time?
Yeah.
Are we punted?
8:31. So yeah.
Yep. So exact same way that we've done it the last two
So
times.
we punted for Star Wars, right? Or did we?
I think so. Yeah.
It was one of the two. We didn't punt for one of them. We punted for the other one. But
Yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah,
Okay,
we're
so I
gonna do
get
that. So
reverse
we'll
order.
start with we'll have Brandon start. So you'll do your bottom 5. So you're 10 through 6.
There's only 8.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Never mind. Wait, hang on. I gotta work it out then.
Yeah.
Bottom.
You have bottom 4. Or
Bottom-
3. We'll do bottom 3.
Yeah. Let's do bottom 4, and then we'll just do one apiece for the top 4.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So you do your. That'll make the punting easier too. So you do your. Oh wait, no. There's 9, if we're including Spider-Verse.
No, there's 8.
There's 8. I asked you this before we went on.
Yeah.
It's Raimi trilogy, 2 Amazing Spider-Mans, 2 Tom Hollands,
And then one Spider-Verse. Yeah, 8.
I don't know why I keep thinking that like Venom is part of it, but that
Keith
doesn't even
Murphy,
make sense.
oi oi.
That
Hello.
doesn't even make sense though
Hey,
because there's
coming in for the show.
2
I actually
Venoms.
changed my list from the one that I told you yesterday, and you'll understand why. But
All right, so Brand's doing bottom 4.
Yep.
Bottom 4.
His
4.
8 through 5.
Okay.
Then your 8 through 5. Then my 8 through 5. Then we'll do a round robin, one apiece. If there's anything in your 8 through 5 that's in our 1 through 4, we punt it.
right. Do you want me to go? So I'm going 8 through 5. Do you want me to give my reasonings for each one, or am I just listing off?
If it's not a punt, then yeah, we'll just talk about it.
Oh, okay. All right. So number 8 coming in dead last, a movie that it was enjoyable the first time I watched it, has not been enjoyable ever since, and I feel like I've heard you say this is the opposite for you, but it is Spider-Man 3 of the Sam Raimi trilogy.
So if this is the top 4 for me, I say punt.
Yeah.
Okay. No punt.
Okay. So just basically the cliche: too many villains, not enough time, not enough pacing was really awful. The over the top stuff doesn't really bother me. The whole emo thing doesn't bother me. I actually do like Venom's inclusion in the movie. The whole Mary Jane thing was overdone and everything.
How many cars did they spin up in those webs?
You'll get your money when you fix this damn door. Right?
Rent guy. Oh my god.
Oh, actually, wait a minute. No, yeah, let's.
Wait, so this is why we're
we'll
doing
talk
it
about
correctly,
it right now.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
okay.
what number is it on your list?
It's 7 for me.
Okay, it's my 8. It's
Okay.
my last as well. Let's talk about it. Me and you have been wanting to talk about this for a long time.
Spider-Man 3.
Last week when he came over, we were just like quoting Mr. Dickovich the whole time.
It is.
Just say,
Give me
just
rent.
tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. Just call her and say, "You are a good woman. I am good man." That's it.
I can't. Aside from I mentioned it to you guys right before, that subway fight is
Goddamn.
probably the most redeeming thing about that movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
So
I guess
good.
It's like the whole Sandman thing, but like and we'll get into the other.
That
things,
fight
but
is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing with
It feels very. Even though there's like so much comic bookiness going on, like the
Yeah.
guy's made of sand, like it feels it's the most visceral feeling fight in that movie. Like you feel like you're like actually there. Like then the cinematography in it is really good too.
Yeah, and it was just like it's a unique setting. He had,
Yeah.
like, I mean, they play off the setting. He swings around
Pipes.
subways and everything, and pipes and everything, and they like use all that. But like aside from that, like Sandman's story was like a recall to try to like use emotions from past movies to make you not like the character, like to make you like see him as a villain.
Yeah.
When I guess the movie also did the opposite with trying to make him seem like he was
A good
like,
guy, yeah.
Yeah, because like in the start of the movie, like you like understand his cause. It's like the Vulture, and like
Yeah.
that's why people like Michael Keaton's Vulture. Like you can like at least put yourself in his shoes and be like, well, that really sucks what he's going through.
Yeah.
So I can see why he like turned to what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Sandman is like the big thing. I can't see James Franco. I used to see it the other way.
No love for New Goblin?
James
New
Franco
Goblin
as,
sucks.
as Harry Osborn.
Oh my God, he looks so
He
fucking lame.
He was always Harry Osborn until I've seen him more in Seth Rogen films. But like, it's just Spider-Man 3 is just.
Yeah.
Keith said Venom in 3
Hey,
was
Pete.
awful. I agree.
Right?
Eddie Brock sucked too. Sorry, Topher Grace.
Oh, like I said, like
He
I
goes-
just think the attempted inclusion of Venom.
Yeah.
I thought his costume was good. I thought his body appearance was terrible. I thought his acting was terrible. I thought his lines were terrible.
When I picture Venom, I picture him as like a big hulking like.
Yeah, he's
you
supposed
know,
to be,
like
yeah.
that, yeah. And this dude's like slim as it's like
He's slick.
You know, yeah.
He's like oil.
Something here. Okay, can
Not
I?
in a good
Rock
way.
is supposed to be just like a bigger guy himself.
Yeah.
Right. Can I just bring up something quick that to me didn't make any sense?
Like Tom
so,
Hardy.
with the symbiote. All right. So
Okay.
symbiote.
Yep.
See it crawl into the suit, right?
Absolutely.
He opens the case, part of the suit.
100%.
It is a black suit.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Goes to the bell tower, rips the symbiote off, and it shows that he's naked. So,
I wish
what?
I had an answer for
That
you.
doesn't make any sense. Is it
The only
part
thing,
of the suit? Or
the
is it
only
not?
thing I can think of is that maybe it was one of those things that we're supposed to believe that it bonded to him in the suit, and then maybe it formed like a suit, itself or
Right,
something
make it
like
up
that.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
draw a
then,
conclusion for yourself.
yeah,
Like,
because then
it's
later
on
in the
his body
movie,
all the time, no matter if he wears a suit, it just goes through the suit if he's wearing the suit. Like,
yeah,
that's nonsense.
because then
But it
later
still
on
doesn't
in
make
the
sense
movie,
why he was. That's still. I feel like that still doesn't really like. So
Well,
you're telling me that he. So in that scene, he was just wearing it as a suit. Like he didn't have his suit on.
Right.
With the
Yeah, I
symbiote
think it's
in the
maybe
suit.
like sometimes he can wear the suit, sometimes the symbiote just forms the suit.
I feel like that just wasn't like. I feel like I would need that.
Oh,
You
it
need to tell me
absolutely
that. No,
wasn't
yeah,
articulated.
You
Like,
need,
we're
you need to tell me
grasping.
that.
But yeah.
And I will say, Sam Raimi trilogy was my least favorite going into the rewatch. We'll get into that more, but
Really?
like, the whole, because like I said, I grew up on Amazing Spider-Man comics, and I thought the Amazing Spider-Man movies connected a little bit more with the cartoon, so that's why it was higher up on my list. And I also did like,
Don't you know?
I,
Electro.
yeah, I
Right.
don't hate him.
All right.
Speaking of him, but like, yeah. So I do like Andrew Garfield's idea of like him having the actual web shooters. So like that also is a negative. Like that is a negative across all three Sam Raimi movies.
I was gonna say, what do you feel about that?
I don't like
The
that
organic webs.
I don't like that. I did not like that. I was a strong believer. I really like how they did in Amazing Spider-Man. Like he comes up with the formula.
Yeah.
He tests it. He does everything. I thought that
Well,
was
we went back to
a
formula.
back to formula. Yep. There you go.
Sir,
they
Dr.
should've-
Strom
they
is
should-
dead.
How can you miss that? Like that should yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a comic thing?
No,
the
that was
organic
that was a
webs?
holdover from the James Cameron thing. Like when James Cameron was gonna direct Spider-Man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was like making it he putting his James Cameron-ness on. It was like he wanted to make it organic and like change up some stuff, and that was like the one thing that Sam Raimi kept basically.
Oh.
But it was
That is a very hot take right there. That's the hottest take I've ever read in this chat. Hot take, Into the Spider-Verse is one of the worst. That's the strongest hot take I have ever seen in a chat.
Wow.
Where is that at?
It's Ryan Adams. It's the green bubble right there.
Oh, hot take Into Spider-Man is one of the worst. Oh my.
Okay, Michelle.
We're not into the list yet. We're only at number 8.
Michelle, when you're saying that you like Venom better as a character, are you talking about the Topher Grace Venom or the Tom Hardy Venom? Please
Or
let
just
us know.
Venom as a character in the Spider-Man.
Yeah, or like
universe.
just Venom. Yeah, like.
What do
in
we
the
think
Spider-Man.
about Gwen, Stacy, and Bryce Dallas Howard, and that whole
a waste.
waste.
100%.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. Gwen Stacy. That is another thing from that book. Gwen Stacy's death was also spoiled for that, and I thought that they had a very prime opportunity to do something with that, and that is Peter's original girlfriend before MJ. So I think that it's just like, if you're not going to have her as the original, why even bring her in? I know there was supposedly a fourth movie in production that was canceled then, but like,
I was gonna have John Malkovich as the Vulture.
But like, how can you completely backwards?
I don't think Spider-Man
I was
is
just
very.
I was just thinking of when he's on the phone and he's like, "Give me some milk." She's feeding him the cookies.
Yeah.
Give me,
he said too. We talked about this yesterday.
Dr. Connors. He's like,
Dr. Connors should have been the
Oh,
villain
yeah,
in
right.
The third
Yeah.
movie. The whole you introduce him in the first movie, and like
They do, yeah. They don't do anything.
first, second, and third. He's in all. Yeah, and it's just nothing happens with him.
Right, and it's just like you have to include him somewhere.
What about Peter assaulting MJ? How about that?
Oh, that's pretty
Hits her
wild.
In the bar.
It's pretty wild.
That's
The
what I'm
jazz
talking
bar,
about.
yeah.
The whole thing with her is just like completely disgusting and distasteful, and it's just like something I just hated during watching that.
That was all for her. Yeah.
What the fuck?
You saw she was right there.
And that's
she said you want to go somewhere else.
That's my main issue with Bryce Dallas Howard's Gwen Stacy is that they made her an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not her fault. It's just the way it's written.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's the way that it's written. And again, there's a lot of stuff that, Sam Raimi kind of, admittedly self-sabotaged in that movie because they were pushing so much stuff on him.
I've
like
heard, like Sony was like, do all this, and he was like, I don't want to do that.
They were pushing him to do Gwen Stacy, and they were pushing him to do Venom. That whole thing. So he's even said he's like I just had no passion for it.
He takes his time. And you see the other movies and the quality of work that he does.
Yeah,
that's
and what is reportedly one of the best Marvel movies coming down the pipiline? Fucking Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And that's 100% his mind.
Something with 3 too is like rewatching all the trilogy. I was like, the campiness actually worked for me.
Yeah.
In the first 2. In the third one, it was like overboard.
It was way too much.
This dancing, the jazz, and the whole like. It's really fun to make fun of. Like, it's a really funny movie.
Because it went from campiness to stupidity.
Right. Yeah, and it was just hard to get behind.
All right, so you're number 8.
Oh, is that how we're doing it? Right.
Well, yeah, because I did mine 8. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My number 8 is The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay. That is my 7th. So I can lead into that as well.
That's my 7th as well. So we got
Me and Sean are on the same wavelength.
We got it.
These things.
I don't know. We might not go the same.
This
Deep
movie
sigh.
sucks.
The only reason it's not the last is because there was a movie that was worse than it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I disagree.
I only redeem. Well, I'm saying that obviously you disagree if it's your number 8.
We might not be on the same wavelength with this.
But
I don't know.
The only edge is that I liked Electro's character by the end of that movie. It is unfortunate that they did not do more with it. His whole thing that I don't like how he's being manipulated by Harry, but his character was actually redeeming that. And like I said, I liked Andrew Garfield in the whole process of that with making the webbing. And I know that's the first one, but like I said, that obviously just is a plus for the callback to that. And then the death of Gwen Stacy, that they actually did it, was a big plus for me. I walked out of that movie and I was like, wow, that movie was really good. And I told him this, and I was like, that's probably one of the and Paul Giamatti as Rhino, that was funny.
I forgot about Paul Giamatti.
I break you, I destroy you, I kill you.
So the whole chase scene at the start of the movie where he's just letting people die as he's talking to him in the window.
Yeah.
He's just crashing.
He's just murdering people.
He's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sit here and make some. That was another bad part of the movie. There were a lot of jokes that you're trying to be too funny.
Yeah.
And the whole Spider-Man with when he splashes Electro with the fire truck, you have the helmet on, you go and you get to take the time to do that, and it's obviously for jokes.
The cops were like, does anyone have eyes on Spider-Man? You abandoned the police. You know what I mean? They were worried for their lives, and they were like, does anyone have eyes? And then they just cut to him with the fireman. It's like a joke. I will
say the only redeeming thing is Electro in that movie. I don't care that he's blue. It's whatever. His origin story is shaky. His transformation, I think, was fine. That he gets bitten by electric eels and he turns into a giant, I don't know, power conductor. But
you're gonna know what it feels like to live in a world,
full of darkness.
a world of darkness,
What are
a
you
world
talking
without
about?
power,
His teeth get
a
fixed.
world without.
The teeth get
Spike.
fixed.
And his nose got bigger. Why did he
Yeah.
get so big?
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
it was. He's right. He's
It's
right.
fine the way it was. It's regular
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx
I don't
regular
really
nose.
look at
Okay.
his nose, but yeah.
Everything was terrible about this movie. I disliked every single aspect except when he's distracting so that Emma Stone, Gwen Stacy can get onto the elevator. I thought that was funny, and that was about it. I thought Dane DeHaan was terrible. Writing sucked. It made no sense that his dad's on his deathbed at 60, 70 maybe, and he's dying at 21.
You don't understand. Oh, I see
That
what you're
didn't
saying.
make
I
any
see what you're
sense.
saying. Yeah, yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
and it started around your age. Okay, well, you
yeah,
lived
it
another 40
started.
years.
Yeah, you lived 40 more years. Like, what are you talking about?
He's already like, I'm dying. What?
Everything with Chris
Doesn't
Cooper in
make
that
any
movie was
sense.
just a complete waste.
Yeah.
Well, sorry,
and
the
I think
Gwen
Chris
death.
Cooper, I think Chris Cooper would have been a really good Green Goblin and a really good Norman Osborn, but he dies in his first scene.
Right. That
Like
whole thing-
what?
I wanted to get into this too because
Yeah.
this is another reason.
But apparently
why the
not
movie-
because one of the deleted scenes was that his brain was or his head was in a jar.
I cannot let us
Was
get off
it
this.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I know that.
I cannot get off this movie until we talk about the over romanticization of the father and.
Oh, that whole plot
Richard
line.
Parker.
Yeah.
You start the
Oh,
movie
yeah.
with the plane.
The
scene.
plane,
Are you
yeah.
serious? Are you watching a Spider-Man movie or are you watching James Bond?
Yeah.
Like he's all of a sudden gonna fight this agent in the middle of the plane, and the plane's just gonna go down. Like, come on. And then.
But he lived.
Oh yeah, and then Peter gets mad.
Yeah.
Throws the calculator. Oh, all these coins to a
Yeah.
station in a subway. That a train will come up and have all these recordings of my father.
Roosevelt Station. I mean, come on.
Come on. The movie was paced terribly. Like, things were happening, and then it just completely switched. And it's just, like, done terribly.
How about the? Yeah, I got in Oxford, so I'm just gonna leave now. Like, no day, no week. We're leaving now. This is the
Yeah.
easiest way.
Harry
to do it.
shows
Yeah.
up. Oh, we're best friends again. And then
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, and we're going to skip rocks together, and then I'm going to get mad because you can't give me your blood.
Yeah.
All this nonsense. And then, obviously, the look of the Green Goblin with Harry.
So when
Oh,
Spider-Man
God.
said no, it was really you saying no.
Right.
Oh my
Now I'm gonna
God.
kill your girlfriend. Like what? What?
Right, and his look was just
Yeah.
terrible. How could I would take Power Ranger Green Goblin every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
I don't know
how
what-
Can you not?
I don't know what it was.
Do it right.
But me and Daniel were watching it, and this might as well have been my first time watching this movie because I really did not remember it at all. But I don't know what it was with Andrew Garfield and Dane DeHaan. But they're like, I didn't believe that they were
I did
friends.
not like their
I didn't
chemistry
believe
at
they
all.
were friends at all
Danny DeHaan
ever.
was not.
And the delivery.
It's just terrible.
It was just even Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And it just was not like, I don't know if it was the script or whatever, but it's just like he just like couldn't form like the right sentences to talk to Dane DeHaan, his friend of 10. He hasn't seen in 10 years, but they're best friends, and Dane DeHaan wants Spider-Man's blood and is the whole fucking and
Because of regeneration.
Oh, and we
Because
haven't
of
even
regeneration.
mentioned Felicia Hardy yet.
who's that?
What's her name? Felicity Jones, Black Cat.
Oh, you mean Felicia? Felicity
Oh,
Jones plays
right.
Felicia.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you give me something without an F? Like something. I literally rolled my eyes as soon as I saw Felicity Jones plays Felicia. Okay, and then we didn't even get what's her name?
Aunt May.
No, Shailene Woodley. Everything was cut from
Oh
her.
yeah, yeah.
She was supposed to play MJ.
Said there was like an hour of the movie
yeah,
cut.
I did see that as well. Yeah, but whatever. But like I said, I walked out and I was super excited because I actually did like the other redeeming thing was the hype for the Sinister Six coming in the third one, and like obviously like I said, like I grew up watching Amazing Spider-Man, so like the actual Sinister Six, seeing a new Doc Ock, even if it's not Alfred Molina. But,
Yeah, and he goes, how big a group do you need?
yeah,
I want to keep it small.
yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
They're just 6 costumes.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like 5, and then you're gonna have Rhino, that guy who's
Yeah.
running.
No, Rhino was in there.
That's right, yeah.
Rhino was in there. He was the first
yeah,
one.
the
Yeah.
Rhino. And then he comes out and he's like, I am the Rhino.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta be Spider-Man.
Oh,
And
my
the little kid runs out.
God.
Like, how are you gonna let your little kid run out? And that was the other thing. And I saw
Oh
this in a review too.
God.
Why is it always like it's like a stadium full wide of people watching dangerous activities go on.
Yeah.
Like, you're all sitting here watching, like, oh, well, we're going to block the police because now they're going to be, like, bars set up so we can watch just, like, a death match. Like, come on. In Times Square, they're all just standing there.
Shit!
Next to
God,
okay.
so funny.
I should.
Oh, that he's faster than the speed of light?
Can I? Okay, this is like an actual like science question. It really doesn't make sense to me. So you bathtub, you throw a toaster that's plugged in there, you're gonna get electrocuted. So how doesn't water like mess with electricity?
Salt water.
Salt water. Okay.
Shout out to my brother because he got it wrong on one of his tests, and he'll never forgive his teacher for this. But I'll always remember that it's salt water. So if you're in non-salt water, like if you're in fresh water, you don't have to worry about like lightning. But if you're in salt water, you do.
Because they're submerging him in water in the jail, and they spray a fire hose at him.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, can't he just like? Isn't it like electricity like? Travels up the stream.
They're like putting him out like he's a fire.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wouldn't
like
he just
Sandman
shock all of them?
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? But like,
No,
they never.
It was definitely weird because you like think.
They don't say, "Oh, this is salt water."
Right.
Yeah.
But
you see Spider-Man dumping a saline solution.
To like travel through it, I guess.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we submerging him in a prison in salt in this water? If shouldn't he be able to like, I don't know, not travel through it, but electrify everything around him?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
isn't that
I
how
guess
it works?
their goal was to try to make it seem like it was like short-circuiting him or something.
Yeah.
Like some nonsense that logic.
Yeah. How about when Gwen gets on the elevator
with Max?
And she goes, "Oh, I didn't see you there." It's like he was on the elevator when he got on. What are you talking about?
I had a moment like that actually at work when like someone was like,
"This is gonna be a very loud podcast, by the way."
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm like yelling.
So, like,
Let us know if there's any audio issues. Hopefully there isn't, because nobody said anything.
Yeah. So it was just like.
Where's Danielle at? What's her ranking?
She's recording.
Oh.
I don't know.
Shout out, Rants on Fire.
I can tell you. I'm sorry, real quick. I can tell you, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is at the bottom. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, you both looked at each other and were just like, "This movie is absolute dog shit."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
of
yeah.
course.
It was
I texted you. And I was like, "That movie was so much worse than I remember."
I liked it. I mean,
no, you didn't.
No.
Don't lie.
No, I will say
it's
this.
An easy watch,
I
like,
will.
Is now that I've watched more movies, I've like come to like if I was like maybe like 15, like I can watch that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good movie because I'm not invested in what's actually going on. Like it's just a story. Like
That is a good way to put it. That it is an easy watch because it's like it wasn't one of those movies that you're like, oh my god, it's only 2 hours and 2 minutes, but it feels like it's 3. It's like it felt like it went by pretty fast. Like that's the one thing is that like you don't feel like you're suffering through watching it. You're just like, my brain is melting. Like what?
I also think they did the pacing with Electro's whole thing, and then they like did the big thing with him, and he gets captured, and then they bring in Harry, and it's just like a restart.
Yeah.
And it's
I hated I didn't like Jamie Foxx. I felt bad for him because I was like, they need to give him, because even him as a regular person, I was like,
yeah, he's
what
way
the
too
fuck is
noticeable as a
this?
person.
I was like,
you needed someone that would be like Max Dillon is not he is a big villain in the Spider-Man thing, but like his character, like his aside from being Electro, like his like technician character,
is he like a kind of, I hate to say loser, but like is he like that in the comics?
No. He's just like an older guy that's just like angry all the time. So like then he just gets his powers.
And he doesn't really. And his motivation too was a problem for me. It's like.
Well, like the whole thing he got upset about when in Times Square was like that they shot him when he was like annoyed that like Peter didn't remember his name or whatever. Yeah. But like it was like whatever. Like
bro, you know how many people I save a day?
Yeah.
Like.
Right, but then there was like we were getting a little bit past that, and then the one police officer shot him.
Oh, shot him.
And then he like freaked out. And
at that moment, Daniel was like, "He just fucking told you not to shoot him, and you shot him."
Yeah.
The old classic.
Well, that's my thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it like?
Can't wait 2 seconds.
Like I get it that like okay, they're the cops. They don't work for Spider-Man, but Spider-Man was like, guys, don't shoot. Like I'm talking him down. Like please don't shoot.
Yeah.
And it's like earlier the cops were like, does anybody have eyes on Spider-Man? Like, you know what I mean? It's like they're like working together. And then right after Spider-Man, says, please don't shoot him, the guy goes, if you have the shot, take it. What? Why? Why? He's literally talking him down. You're watching that happen in front of you.
Yeah,
Your point about them like all like everybody huddled around. and they're all like next to metal barricades.
Yeah, like what?
You just
Oh, they all run up the stairs to nothing.
Yeah.
I'll be honest though, that
I get like you're
that
running
scene
away
was
from.
funny.
Yeah.
Like, or not funny. I thought that scene was cool when he like
The effects-
loses the web shooter and then he's got to save.
Yeah, the
effect-
movie looks.
Yeah,
The first 2/3 of that movie look
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Last one, it just gets very like muddy. I feel like.
the whole fight scene
I'll
at the
blow
power
my
plant.
nose. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Huh?
I'm blowing my nose.
Oh. Yeah, the fight scene, the dubstep death battle at the power grid. It was just very like when it just started being like the columns or whatever you want to call them, the stacks at the power grid, just like falling in on Peter over and over again, and just like breaking like glass, and it was just like the same thing for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And then as soon as Electro dies or whatever happens to him, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Like as soon as that happens, though, and
I
then
do
it
like
just
his new
becomes,
outfit though. For
yeah.
the new movie, I will say.
But as soon as Electro, dies or whatever, and then it's just like Harry. It's just like looks so like muted and just like because Harry's Harry's Green Goblin, look is so like brown and like green and
It's
like
so terrible.
it just looks like
Ryan said to
shit.
get the marbles out of your mouth. Sorry, but that's funny.
But yeah, all right, you guys want to move on to?
Yeah, we can agree this movie's bad.
All right, so now we actually maybe have a similar list going forward.
I
so,
think we're gonna have pretty similar lists. So who's next?
We'll go with Brandon
Brandon?
because we both did.
Okay.
All of us did our
That's
7 or 8. Yeah.
Okay.
So Amazing Spider-Man 1, the first one. I walked out of this.
Yeah? That's
my
my 6.
Yeah.
Great. So I'm
What
glad.
if we just have all the same
We might,
list?
honestly.
Yeah.
So going with this movie, I walked out of this movie the original time. I will remember it, and I said, I don't really like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was not very good. And then my brother was like, no, it did so much for like the comics, and I was like, yeah, well, I know, but like, or
Yeah.
the cartoon, and I was like, yeah, well, I know, but like,
Interesting that you walked out of this one going, not for me, but then you walked out of the second one.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that was like the irony that I
Yeah.
said I was gonna bring up, but like, so I rewatched this one. A lot of like good parts. The school fight was good comic with good comedy with
I'll
Stan
talk
Lee.
about that. Yeah.
And like great. The only issue
Absolutely.
I have really with this movie, like the biggest issue, again without counting the parents in it, but
yeah.
the biggest issue I had was the final fight scene was way too short.
Okay. Yeah.
It was just
Okay.
like them at the top of the tower. Like I understand his motivation is also bad. Like
There's
turning
more of-
everybody into lizards.
There,
Like, so whatever.
there was
But, like,
more of a fight with him and Captain Stacy than him and Spider-Man.
right.
Yeah.
And then also like you had a bigger fight in the middle of the movie. How are you gonna?
Yeah, their school fight was like 10 minutes.
Yeah, like how are you gonna have a worse fight at the end? And,
Yeah.
like
Just shooting with a
he
shotgun.
also gets his ass.
Yeah.
Peter gets his ass kicked every single time he fights
yeah,
the lizard, and then all of a sudden, like because he has Captain Stacy, like he's finally like
Yeah.
you don't even feel like he was triumphant. Like he goes
Yeah.
up there and T minus 2 minutes. The fight lasts 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's how long.
No,
the
yeah,
fight lasted.
literally.
Like it.
And also the whole thing. Well, all right. So I'll say overall, I would say I've now clearly in my list transitioned to movies I like.
Yes, I can rewatch like easily, and I'll
Yes.
definitely look into rewatch.
Absolutely.
I think the next movie is the movie I like. This movie is still like for me. It's like it's fine. Like
Okay.
I don't want to really watch it.
Andrew Garfield
I give
also
it
as
3.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This is also the first time I've seen this movie. I'd
Yeah.
never seen it before.
Me and Bree, who we used to work with,
Uh-huh.
used to always like defend Andrew Garfield like crazy. Watching this movie, his mouth noises really
Yeah,
were
yeah.
making me lose it. I was going to, and it like
Like when he's asking out Gwen.
yeah, and it was
and
just like
and
I
she's
wanted
like,
to
talking out on the balcony and everything. It was just
yeah.
that was my face probably watching it. It was
in the hallway.
Peter
That's
t-
that one
yeah.
scene where he's like, "Did you? What do you want to?"
And she's like, either one.
Yeah,
one.
I'm like,
And it's
please
like-
just say it.
Yeah.
when he first
Yeah.
you're on my nephew's computer.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
That was really weird.
You're on his computer.
That is definitely something that would happen.
That was-
I know that would happen to someone. Like,
That
Yeah.
was a funny like
100%.
scene. I thought it was funny.
I really
But
liked
when
Martin Sheen as.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
I
when
liked
I
him
saw
better, 100%.
when I saw before he says that like earlier in the movie,
Yeah.
when he like there's clearly a picture of her on his computer.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird. Like I don't care if
and he
you're
like cuts the window off so it's just her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and I
the
was
debate
like,
club, and then they're
that's
like,
really
"Oh,
weird."
well, it's just her."
Yeah.
Something like I Can we agree that Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield? Because I think they were dating during this movie or after.
Yeah,
and
the whole period.
I think they had really good chemistry together. I think they were. I think like the writing again was not very good. Yeah. Like again,
well, I think the writing was a lack of writing and just going, okay, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone be Andrew Garfield. Yeah, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Yeah. So just do what you do. So like, and then it came off very like, and you wanted to be authentic, but like it was just not meant for what Peter Parker and Stacy should be.
Sorry, going back to Amazing Spider-Man 2, that suit sucked. This suit was actually, I liked this suit in this one. The first one.
Wait.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit sucked to me.
And
the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit was better, in my opinion.
I like both of them better than the original.
I disagree.
You guys are smoking crack. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit is the best live-action suit that we've had.
It's awful.
No, I like
the eyes are like fucking this, and
that's what Spider-Man is.
I don't care.
My biggest problem, which we will get to, believe me, we will get to it, and I'm looking right at it right now. Tom Holland's fucking suits.
You might say the same thing, Danielle.
Yeah,
Tom Holland's fucking suits. Is it fabric or is his skin painted the color of the Spider-Man suit?
I also don't like the symbol in the middle of his chest.
There's no ripple, like the opening. I will say this: plane crash aside, the opening scene of the actual opening scene of Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he's falling down with that great score, is and you see the ripples and the wind in the suit and everything. When Tom Holland swings around, he looks like a fucking Pillsbury Doughboy. Like he literally looks like somebody just inflated the suit to a human shape. You know what I mean? Like, and it's really like I didn't mind it at first, but it's like there's such lack of detail in his Spider-Man suits, and it's always wide shot. Like if you ever notice, whenever he's Spider-Man, it's always a wide shot. It's always a super wide shot, unless it's, the only thing I can think of that was the Mysterio dream sequence, where the whole thing was CGI. That entire sequence, nothing was real photography. So it looked a little bit better in there, and like they made his neck look thinner. But like if you look there, it's like his whole. He looks like you drew somebody like this. It looks like you drew somebody like this.
Yeah, and we talked about it.
Like it just goes like a hump on his head.
And Keith in the chat also talked about this, but it's like Iron Man Jr. Like there's too much of like Iron Man Jr. It like feels like that.
That we'll talk about later.
Yeah, like it's just.
We'll circle back.
But
you're tripping on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit.
The first one is just, or the second one. The eyes just don't work for me.
I think the first movie suit is terrible.
I disagree.
I didn't mind it. I thought the dark eyes.
I don't think it's
dark
the
and dingy.
But I think the
I just really like. I just really like the large spider. I like the whole get up he's got going on.
No, I'm not talking Ryan Adams. I'm not talking about the nanotech. I'm talking about either the Stark suit or the Far From Home, like red and black suit. That's the one I'm talking about. That I understand, but that I even don't like. I just don't like the shape. I don't like the silhouette of Tom Spider-Man. Because I feel like he has no silhouette.
So what about
it's just
like
generic.
the first suit he has before? Like
I don't like that one either.
You don't like that one? Oh, I like that.
No, now correction. I don't. I'm not saying
just the regular plain suit.
Oh, you're talking about like the Stark suit, like the Civil War.
Yeah. That one. Yeah.
No,
you like that one?
I need to correct myself.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna confuse the
I like the Civil War / Homecoming one is the Stark suit.
Yeah.
Then the black one is just the Far From Home suit or whatever you want to call it. I don't like any of them. But I like the design. I love the design of all his suits. Mm-hmm. But his silhouette, the way the actual suit forms around him, he looks like the man. He looks like the man image on like a bathroom sign. Mm. You know what I mean? Like he looks. Yeah, he just looks like
he's like cut out.
Yeah, it just looks so dumb. Like he just looks like a CG model. That's what it comes down to. He looks like a CG model, and instead of going in and doing a fabric, run on the CGI and making sure that all that stuff is animated and stuff like that, they just throw it on whatever the model is and call it a day. Basically, obviously, I'm not denigrating the visual effects work. They do more than that, but I'm saying the movie itself could allow them to do more. Mm-hmm. And I just really don't like it doesn't feel like real fabric. You know what I mean? Even when it's
the black suit actually looks pretty cool. I will say that
like the new one.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
but like if we're talking about like classic Spider-Man suits, like I obviously Amazing Spider-Man, and like I do really like the big spider, and like I said that, but like I just think that it doesn't feel like a Spider-Man suit that like because he's supposed to like create that. Like,
Yeah,
it's supposed to be his own creation, and then like I said, like it's just like Iron Man Jr. when it comes to the suits and like his whole MO when it comes to the movies, but I still think Tom Holland is great.
Yeah.
I just
well,
didn't
I'd be
like the
interested to know because if you're just talking about the suits, yes, obviously Tony literally made the Stark suit. Peter made the Far From Home suit with Stark tech. That's obviously Stark tech. Now, the black suit, me and TJ have a theory on that. I won't even get into that here because I don't want to ruin anything for you, but me and TJ have a theory of where that comes from. That's kind of explained away. I want to know the what are they calling it? The integrated suit, the one with the big gold spider. That's not the Iron Spider, like the one that he's wearing in like the whatever the Statue of Liberty final battle is. I want to know who makes that or how that gets made. Because if that's Stark Tech again, then I'm gonna be like, okay, can he make a single suit by himself? Is this a magic suit? Like, where does this come from? You know what I mean?
At least he does make that one at the end of Far From Home, but let's go back to Amazing Spider-Man. Back to Amazing Spider-Man 1. Comedy was actually pretty good. I thought the comedy in the movie, like I said, the whole fight scene with Stan Lee in the library was good.
Yeah,
I thought the car robber scene was also pretty. Like his one-liners are pretty good. Like, oh no, knife,
small knives,
my weakness.
That whole thing, yeah. Well, how about that cop just like firing at him? Like,
I don't like
okay.
that whole part of the movie. Aside from that, his whole like objective to chase down whoever killed Uncle Ben. Like you're starting Spider-Man to be, like a villain, like
a profiler.
Like
basically like
a criminal. Like whatever.
Yeah.
So. That and then the whole thing, so we'll get into this again, but like there's only these two movies to talk about this, but the fact that he was like genetically made to be Spider-Man, like his dad.
Oh yeah, that was kind of like destined to be.
Come on,
like
the whole thing was Stan Lee makes it.
Yeah,
anybody can be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He makes it so anybody can be Spider-Man. Anybody can be.
If only there was a Spider-Man movie where that was the message of the movie.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
Don't worry, kid. It'll fit. It fits eventually.
Ding.
Boom.
Right.
Yep. Spider-Verse. Sorry.
Yep. Going into.
Well, the last thing I'll say just about Amazing Spider-Man 1. Absolutely, I think the classroom fight or the school fight is amazing. I think the CG, that's the best the CG looks in the movie. And like you said, I mean, it's the longest fight of the movie, and it's really, really good. It's a very good fight. And then I'm very disappointed. Like the ending is just like it's over. And one thing that I really don't like, and granted, yes, it's like, you could kind of use the Man of Steel analogy where like this is really kind of Peter's like it's his first go. It's like Spider-Man year one. You know what I mean? So he's still getting used to everything. But the whole like, oh my God, I can't even get down one street. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm injured so much I can't even get down one street. And he just basically gives up, and he's just like in the fire escape, and they're like, hey, get these cranes facing get them all facing 90 degrees on 6th Avenue. We need to give them a clear runway. You know what I mean? It's fucking what's his name from The Outsiders. Like it's like
we also have to mention
another don't shoots him.
Literally.
But we do have to mention the basketball scene with Flash Thompson.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was so badly done the first time I watched it. Oh my God.
Also, can I just say this? Granted, I don't know what was going on that day because there was a lot going on in that gym. There was the girls painting, there was marching band, there was Flash practicing. You should not be having an open bucket of paint with an active basketball game going on.
Or basketball practice.
Or basketball, even that. Yeah, literally. And also, it wasn't like Flash was, and also over the course of both of these movies, I will say this: if Flash is in the second one, because that's when they graduate or whatever. He did. But like in the first one specifically, Yeah, he's like picking on Peter, and he's picking on that other kid, like Gordon or whatever his name is.
Eugene.
Yeah, but yeah.
Drop him, Eugene.
But my thing is like, Flash really. I feel like Flash really is not like as bad a villain. Like definitely not as bad as like the Joe Manganiello one was.
Yeah,
because he's like.
I also didn't remember that was him. I was like,
I did the same thing.
Oh
yeah,
my
I was
gosh,
like, oh
it's
shit,
Joe-
yeah, that
Yeah.
is him.
Joey M.
But like the way like he like goes at he like humiliates
Magic
Flash
player.
with the basketball thing, and it's like Flash. It's not like Flash like went like boom and like hit the paint can. It just rolled and hit the paint can. Like he didn't do it on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, and then Peter's like, "You did that on purpose." You know what I mean? And it's like. He really didn't even like. I mean, it just seemed like it was just an accident. But I mean, yeah. And then later when he like tries to literally go up and like console him about his uncle, he's like, don't fucking try. He's like, don't fucking try me. And he's like, yo man, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't like Flash in this one or the original one.
I think my final if we're closing out Amazing Spider-Man 1,
Yeah.
my final like kind of complaint is the writing, and then I just think the lizard like as a villain sucked. I didn't like how these random lizards started showing up.
Yeah.
And just crawling into the sewers. I thought that was weird. Where'd they
And
come
I
from?
thought that Kurt Connors was a good, which apparently they kept calling him his full name Curtis Connors the whole movie, which I was like, it's like Kurt I mean, that's a very small thing, but
yeah, like other people like formerly were calling
like everybody
Oscorp people
but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, also like Rhys Ifans, who hopefully he's in this. Like, he was good at the beginning of the movie, and then like when he like went full tilt crazy, like he really went for it. Like he was like, when he's like, I hear there's apparently a new species of lizard in New York, and I hear they can be quite threatening when cornered or something like that. And it's like,
I really liked his portrayal of the lizard. I
liked it. I just think he went it was too like mustache, and to quote Alfred Molina, it was too much of like a mustache twirling power grab.
Yeah.
I get that, but like I just think that comic book style like that
that
like resonates with me. That I'm just like that.
And like you said, it's very similar to the cartoon and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
too,
I really like that, and I said that about Spider-Man 3. Like I don't really mind the over the top stuff. Like that's what like these movies should be. If I'm looking for like real life scenarios, like I'll go watch like a documentary. Like I'm gonna watch a comic book movie for over portraying and over coloring villains.
The last thing I dislike. Well, I didn't like his motivation, and I also didn't like how they did the Willem Dafoe thing just way worse. Is the inner monologue. I hated that. They did that too.
Yeah.
They did that in the second one, but they did it in like music form.
Yeah.
Where the lyrics were talking to Electro. Again, every other scene in that movie too was like a music video, which was weird. But I hated that because I was like, you just kind of took that and did it worse, and it just doesn't work. And it didn't work. No, I'm sure he's who's the guy who plays him? The guy who plays Curtis Connors.
Rhys Ifans.
Yeah, and it's just like I feel like Willem Dafoe's like, just he can do that.
Yep, can't beat him.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
So then we got to do your number 5.
Yep. So last of the bottom 4 is the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man 1.
That is a punt.
That's me.
That is a punt. Okay, that's
fine.
fine.
Wait, that's a punt for you?
No,
that's
where you are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
So what is your 5 then? Because this is where we're gonna get into punts now because everything else is on our top.
Yeah. My number 5 is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
That is my number 4. So
That's
we can
a
talk.
punt.
Okay. Oh, that's a punt?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so what is your number 4?
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, but that's a punt for you. Mm-hmm. So what is your number 4?
Spider-Man 2.
Punt.
Was your Okay, that's a punt. Okay.
All right, so can we just go through this then? Because I feel like we'll get all the way to 1, and then we won't agree until we get to 1.
Yeah, sure. So what? Well, wait. What? So what are we?
What
are we doing?
On, then?
I mean, both of us have Spider-Man 1 at 5.
Yeah.
You can get into your details when you get it up to it. We'll just like go through it because I feel like.
Well, I feel like I want to save that one.
Okay.
Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
All right. So then you have Homecoming at 5.
No, at 5 I have Spider-Man 1.
And then Homecoming's still a punt for you.
Yes.
Okay, a high punt. Okay,
What
and
was
Yeah,
yours?
it's a high punt.
Oh, you punted Spider-Man 1 at 5.
Yeah.
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 Because you have Homecoming at 4.
Yeah.
no, I have Homecoming at 5.
That's
Or
what I meant.
5,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mine's at 4. So,
So what is your number 3?
Far From Home.
That's
What
my
it-
3.
That's my 3. Let's
Okay.
talk about that.
Let's
Okay.
talk about it. All right, so Far From Home. Really good story, really good
Great.
twist.
Yeah, great movie.
John Beck, great villain. Jake Gyllenhaal, great actor in the role. The whole idea, because I did not, growing up with Spider-Man, did not think of any kind of elemental giants as villains, and I was like, Mysterio's definitely a villain. I really someone who watched all that stuff still got surprised.
It still worked, I think. Yeah. Even
like
if
you
you
could
knew.
definitely have. I thought maybe they were setting it up to then be like someone else be the main villain and controlling these giants, and then you have like even what's his Taskmaster? Taskmaster.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the main villain of Far From Home, and so I was like, all right, well, Mysterio may then turn on Peter, like maybe in a different movie, but the fact that he was the main villain and then they were the CG with or whatever the glasses controlled drones, I thought that was like great.
That wasn't so hard, right?
Yeah, I thought the cast was good. I think it's better than Homecoming. I think it's just like a little bit better because it has a little bit better of a story. It's not like I feel like Homecoming, and I'll get to this, just like suffers from like being the first movie, but like trying to give a little bit of backstory, but then try to be a full story. So
Yeah.
it's just Far From Home is straight through. You watch it through. You connect with Peter Parker, just trying to be a high school kid, trying to go through his day, but then like has to save the world. And then just the fight scenes are really good. The whole idea at the end was really good. The surprise with the return of J. Jonah Jameson at the end of it is just not talking about marbles on my mouth. I'm more comment to that. What is a punt? A punt means that if one of us have it higher up in the rankings,
We talk about
we
it
talk
later.
about it later when that person is when that ranking is.
We basically we honor the higher ranking with the
so
conversation.
we will get into that. So
Yeah.
we will get into the other movies, I guess, later
Yeah.
on. But Far From Home.
He says, I think the most underrated part of Far From Home are the Skrulls, Nick Fury, and Maria Hill setting up Secret Invasion. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I think
me,
that was a good reveal.
I echo everything
Like,
you
bitch, you've
almost
been to
everything you
space.
just said. I literally just rewatched this last night. And I don't buy, and I get that, Peter is interpreting this note from Tony that it's like he trusts him to give it away or, the stuff. I don't buy that he met this guy literally 2 days ago and he's going to give him the glasses. Like, I can't buy that. I'm sorry. Like,
He's a high
it's
school
really
kid.
soon. Yeah, I get it. I get he's in high school. But if we're being completely honest, he's smarter than that. He is smarter. He's smart. He did the decathlon. He does this whole thing.
He is brain. He's like book smart. But
Yeah,
I feel like
I just
his
don't-
emotions are not in check, and that's why Tony Stark has that big thing with him, which I think is a really.
But
big,
you think he would have learned from the previous movie where Tony's like, I'm taking the suit away.
right?
If
when
you're
he-
nothing
yeah,
without
on
the
the
suit, you're
boat,
nothing at all.
How are you not even here? Like, it
You
was
think
like,
he would have like learned like something where he's like, yeah, maybe.
But then again, you could say Peter maybe thought that was the lesson learned. Was he's like, oh, I am doing the responsible thing. I'm not ready to have this. He almost kills Brad on the bus. Like,
Right,
maybe
yeah.
he's like, this is the
Yeah, that is a
responsible
little-
thing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because all he knows is like, this is some great superhero savior from another world who's come here to help me. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this is like fate. Like, he's the perfect guy to take this. That kind of thing. So maybe it was one of those things where he thought the responsible thing to do was to unburden himself, basically.
Yeah.
But again,
But
just like
again,
things
unburden
we've talked
yourself,
about before.
Give it to somebody you've known longer. You've
Yeah.
literally known this guy for 2
Like, give it to Rhodey. You know what
Sure,
I mean?
Rhodey.
Geekicidal tendencies. Best Spidey movie has not been made yet.
Well, apparently
It's
tomorrow
not-
night it
right,
could be the best one. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
hasn't been released yet in the United
right,
States of America.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
And
To the
then
public.
and the other thing is just like I really liked Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal. I thought he was really
His
good.
costume also fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Very
But-
honoring of the character and like everything. They even changed it to be even better. I think.
But
Yeah.
since we're ranking them, and I just have it below another one because I just thought the actor in the other role was just so much like I connected with that guy. Like
Are we
how
talking
some
about Michael
people,
Keaton?
yeah.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
So that's why I have it
Wait,
like
who?
Michael Keaton's Vulture.
Oh,
Yeah.
What were you being like secretive about?
Well, I didn't want to like give away my ranking, but I guess.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
it's above that. We already talked about
Yeah.
Yeah, we already know it's a punt,
right.
though. Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I thought the movie was great. I like how they explain everything. Like when they're in the bar, it's like, oh, you worked for Tony. He named my fucking thing Barf. He called it Barf. I hate him for that. And then this guy, Tony Stark built this in a cave.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I thought
I'm
that
sorry,
was great.
sir, but I'm not Tony Stark.
Like all of that was great.
I just love Beck so much as a character. Like the whole when he is doing the like, William, why's my hand doing that? Why is this? And he's like, oh, one of the drones is probably, and he's just like, no. He's like, this has to work. Yeah. He's like, because if this starts happening, and then I have to. I love what he's like, because I'm trying to convince the most paranoid man in the world, Nick Fury, that like this is working, and he's like, and then he goes, what happened, and then he goes and he watches back the footage or whatever, and sees that MJ and Peter have the projector, and then when he's like, William, one day when I have to kill Peter Parker because of you, he's like I just love how fucking like manic he is, but also like, like he doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't have to, you know what I mean? Like until then the end when he just gets frustrated.
He's like, he's like casualties. There'll be casualties in London.
Yeah. He's
so
like, this is
he doesn't
Avengers
really
level
care.
Threat, right? You know what I mean?
But
yeah, he's definitely like a precise villain that I thought was really, really well done, and he's probably one of my top 3. I'll even say like top 3 villains of the Spider.
Oh yeah, I think
like,
so.
Whole thing. Yeah. We'll get into the other two.
Did the I thought it was a funny movie too. I thought all the comedic beats worked for me.
Yeah,
all the
writing
kind
has
of moments and
the Tom Holland movies have been like, I think they hit on. It's easy to just like throw in a little bit of comedy, just like, but don't.
And it does emotion good too.
It does.
Like with the as much as you want to say anything about like him and Iron Man's relationship, like it is like like losing another father figure for this kid who like, and that's something that actually you see in What If is there's a scene in What If where like he kind of talks about, he's like all the people that he's lost, and he's like happy Mr. like these people aren't dead in this universe, but where he's like happy Mr. Stark, Uncle Ben, he's like my parents, he's like everybody that I've ever had is dead. Like he's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like you think about that, like all that shit is just keeps happening to him.
Harry Potter syndrome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's dying around him that he likes.
And the illusions I love that.
Just the whole concept, the whole conceit of him as a villain was so good. Right. Like just everything, the way that they just worked everything out, it was like it's just so great. I really
because like
it.
in the animated show, he's like this fun guy with a fishbowl on his head.
Yeah, he's like
he's a special effects.
He's like a magician.
The only reason that it's only number 3, and we'll get into those movies, but there is just two movies that are just slightly a little bit.
Oh, you know what I just remember that we didn't talk about in Spider-Man 3 is well, we can talk about him when we get to the other two, but Bruce Campbell's cameos.
Oh yeah.
But specifically
he was supposed to be
Mysterio in the fourth one.
Yeah.
But the third one when he just says, romance. I am French. just that. That's all I wanted to bring up.
Another part of those movies that like you're throwing in way too much to try to just like crowd please.
Yeah.
And it's just really frustrating.
All right. So what
are we up to number 2 now?
Because that was all of our 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Spider-Man 2 from the Sam Raimi trilogy.
And what was that on yours? That's
4.
a punt?
4.
Oh, Spider-Man 2 was your 4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this 2 is what?
Spider-Man 2.
All right, let's talk about it.
Right,
that was my 4. That was a punt earlier.
Oh, that was your 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you both had it at 4?
Mm-hmm.
So Alfred Molina makes this movie what it is. This is probably the movie that got me into Spider-Man the most. Even watching like hero movies, but like Spider-Man 2 and Doc Ock's character. Doc Ock was always like the main villain that I always thought of when I thought of Spider-Man. It wasn't Green Goblin, even though that was the first movie. And he is probably my second favorite villain in the whole universe. He took his role very seriously. I just remembering reading about that, and then just there are parts that like really irk me during the movie, but it's something that like I've watched the movie so many times. Like, and that's the testament to like if I were to give it to like a ratings wise, it would probably be like a 4.5 out of 5 because like it's just like so easy to watch. It's so, well maybe like a 4 out of 5 because I wouldn't put it like top, but like there are very few things that I can like pick out, but like those things do bug me when I do watch the movie. But like I'm just like yeah whatever. Like the whole movie as a whole just really works for me. Everything's really well done. I could argue that Far From Home could go here, but like I think Alfred Molina just puts it just a little bit over the top with Doc Ock's character. The whole
and Willem Dafoe coming back as the ghost.
Avenge me!
Yeah. Avenge me! No! Throws it through the mirror.
And finds it and then plays a terrible character in the third movie. But yeah, whatever. So yeah.
Harry. Don't tell
I
Harry.
agree with everything you said. I thought Alfred Molina was great. Again, the campiness works for me in this movie.
Absolutely. It's so good.
Everything's, great, funny. I thought Peter and MJ, good relationship, just kind of back and forth. And I do like I thought the scene when they're in like the coffee shop or whatever, and he throws the car through the thing.
Yeah, that's like one of the best Spidey sense like scenes.
Again,
also, get out of here with the fucking Peter Tingle shit.
Because I mentioned this with you. I mentioned to you about this Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2, that gap where at the end of Spider-Man 2, they're like, we can't be together. Spider-Man 3, let's get married. Like, what? You just said no.
Yeah.
Okay. But, like, that was one of the problems I had, like, with the trilogy as a whole is that kind of gap in period where it's like, what changed between that and that, this time and that time? Like, but I like the fact that he's, like, not evil. Like, you know what? Like, he's being controlled,
He's a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, Doc Ock's character, like, yeah.
And at the end, he's like, "Oh, I got, I gotta take it down with me. I gotta do this."
Yeah.
I've seen that it's like it won or it was nominated. I don't know if it won. Like all the movies won for like special effects or nominated.
Soundtrack. Also
I never
great.
thought they looked that good. Is that just me? Maybe it's because I'm in 2021.
Yeah. No. I think that. So,
that
like, for
movie
context,
really good.
the Doc Ock Spider-Man scene where they're fighting up the building after the bank, that is entirely CG. Like, that in 2003, that was made.
Right,
like,
okay. So,
you know what I mean? Like, that, like,
looking at a 2021 lens is like...
Yeah.
Well,
I think the only thing that doesn't hold up is just the head model in Alfred Molina. But, like, anything else, like... That movie to me still looks great. Like
Spider-Man 1's harder to watch graphics wise.
Yeah.
Because like I really can't stand
when he's swinging with MJ and it's just a mannequin.
The introduction of the Green Goblin
that?
at the festival or the parade or whatever.
Yeah.
That was just it was really
the Unity Festival.
Yeah.
Something I never and I don't
Macy
know if,
Gray.
I don't know if Alfred Molina says it in this one. But I know Willem Dafoe definitely, like Green Goblin definitely says in the first one.
You spoiled my plan for the last time.
Yeah, you spoiled my plan for the last time. It's like, this is the first time we met. Like, what are you talking about? I've never met you before. Because Doc Ock says it at the bank when he's like, trying to steal
you're not
going to
get in my way.
And I was
again.
like, I guess they met when he pulled the plug on him, so I don't know if that kind of counts. It doesn't really
Precious
mean.
trivia.
But yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to thank Harry Osborn and Osborn Industries for providing it, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you guys buy them as friends?
Yeah. The
Harry and
Harry and
the
Peter?
most out of any of.
Oh
them,
yeah. I way more.
Really?
Way more than the other.
Not Ned, probably.
Yeah. I mean, way more than me. Dane
way
Don
more than
and-
Dane Don. Yeah.
Right, but like
Garfield.
when I first watched it, I thought they were like friends. I thought the whole thing with like MJ and like them both like
The love triangle.
Yeah, and like everything like that's all part of like what actually happens, and like so I thought it was all believable. Like I didn't have that's not something that annoyed me during the movies when I watched them. I will say.
What else? Do you have anything else to say about Spider-Man 2?
Train Steve.
I didn't really say anything.
Train scene,
yeah. The train scene is like amazing. Doc Ock is incredible. I think the look of it's really good. It's one of the rare instances where Joel McHale is in a movie before he got his hair plugs. So he is balding as fuck in that movie.
I was just gonna say your whole Raimi trilogy is 4 and below.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. But yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. Like you said, the train sequence absolutely is amazing. But yeah.
Jeez.
Okay,
And Mr. Dickovich. You know what I mean? Give me rent.
Give me rent.
Yeah.
He's a dick. He's actually a dick. Like when Peter's just trying to go to the bathroom. He goes, rent?
He's a real dick in the second one, but then in the third one he mellows out a little bit because Peter's really going through
after
it.
he yells at him.
Yeah. You fix this damn door, and he goes, he is a good boy. Oh my god! All right, so then
your number 2. Then
I think we're all just going through and doing our number 2s, and then I think we all have the same number
But
1.
we didn't talk about Spider-Man 1.
Right. So is this
my
your number 2?
Right, yeah.
My number 2 is Spider-Man 1, so we can talk about it now.
Okay. Yeah, because this was my number 5.
And that was TJ. What was it?
5.
5.
Yeah, so it was both of your 5s and my 2.
Yeah. So I guess the floor is yours because you are.
I mean, I don't
ranking.
even know what to say. This was one of those movies that I just like absolutely just wound the
rewound the VHS.
the VHS out. Like I just wore that
Or
thing
DVD,
out.
probably.
Like 2000, like I've said this before. Like 2002 was like the first year that I like went to movies and like started remembering like what going to the movies was. And it was this Attack of the Clones and Chamber of Secrets like was like that was like my year, and I was just, and it's like it's like very early memories, so it's just ingrained in my head. Like the green, like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is like a part of my psyche.
Best villain
in a way,
in all of
absolutely
Spider-Man.
1000%.
Power Ranger and all.
Absolutely. Like and I love that suit. I'm glad he's getting a little bit of a comic accurate glow up in No Way Home, according to some of the trailers. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's just I could. It's one of those movies I could just quote every single line. Like I could recite the entire movie from memory. Like it's just one of those.
And many quotables as well.
Such a quotable movie. Such a great. I'm something of a scientist myself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's just so much to, like, you know what I mean? From evil, finish it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's so good. Like, oh my
Back
God.
to formula.
Yeah,
Back to formula.
Back to
was a big one.
formula.
All right, so I guess
so good.
Yeah, so I guess
The heart, Osborn. We go after his heart.
And when he blows up the guy in the like when they were testing the suit.
Oh yeah.
He blows them all up.
Yeah, that's a great transition.
What does he
when
say
the
as he,
explosion.
like, throws it.
Out am I?
Yeah, he says that. Yeah, out am I? Yeah. That's like.
Oh my God.
That's one.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Right, Willem Dafoe is
Oh
by
my
far
God.
100% the best villain.
The roof and he hits him on the head.
Yeah, and he says, and he goes. Okay, you guys can't see this on camera, but he goes, Spider-Man, me and Mary Jane are gonna have one hell of a time.
Yeah, one hell of a time. Yeah,
Oh my
and then
God.
he does the whole.
Oh my! With it Thanksgiving, do what I did, Harry. Use her for what you need and broom her fast. If he says broom her fast in No Way Home, about Zendaya, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it.
That's actually a really good point. So I want to know if they're gonna like hark back to like any lines that they said in.
Yeah, like I need Willem to. He's gotta like have a bunch of quotable shit.
Yeah,
like
he's got.
and
to.
apparently, like Sam Raimi
If
was
he's
like
just
very.
back to formula. I am going to stand up and start clapping. I am going to. Like I will.
What if
promise
Dr. Strom comes back? What if they bring him back? Like what if he just?
Oh, what's going on?
Norman.
Norman. Sorry, I'm late, everyone. I had to beat an old lady with a stick together.
How did you say you got that again? Bike messenger. Clip me on this.
And he
Yeah.
he hears a drop of blood on the floor.
Yeah, and he turns around and then he looks up.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so the movie was good.
So
It's
great.
likable.
The movie is
obviously,
so good.
I just don't think it holds up. So I think
Don't tell Harry.
Tom Holland. Yeah, I think the Tom Holland movies just are
Oh.
better a little bit, and second one obviously is better storytelling. But yeah.
Fuck
me,
man, that movie is so fucking funny.
Yeah, so
I love that
just,
movie so much.
I just think that
Danielle said she's cackling at the thumbnail.
Andrew Garfield, man, the fight the fight scene at the end is good too. The fight scene, like I said in the
Oh
pre,
yeah, perfect length.
yeah,
Great scene.
CG wasn't great, but like at least like they're using the props and everything, and it was like I said, like,
And
when you use a fight scene, use the environment, use the setting that you're in to actually like enhance the effects of the fight.
Oh, all
and
those
not just,
brick
like, you're, like,
walls and
fighting.
shit.
Like
Yeah.
I thought Amazing Spider-Man 1 only did that with the school, like you said, like the school fight.
With tearing through the walls in the
Yeah, everything,
bathroom
like,
and stuff.
and then using like the science kits and everything. Like he comes up.
Yeah,
and, like,
that was
mixes it
great.
and throws
Yeah,
it in there, and then,
that was great.
But like when you have just like fights that are just like basically them just they could do it anywhere. It's just like really not.
Was
as
Bernard
enjoyable.
in this one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It was
Yeah,
just like
again, the campiness just works in this one. It's
So good.
very funny. Willem Dafoe, very good. Up and away web, fly, all that stuff. Oh God, so
go
great.
Web go.
Go web,
Go Web go.
Macho Man, I got you for 3 minutes.
I got you for 3 minutes.
Oh, did
3
your
minutes of
husband make that for you?
playtime. Yeah. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband make it for you?
Talk about
Now he's going to get away with my money. I missed the part where that's my problem.
Yeah. Talk about something that
Yeah.
like would be canceled if he said like, "Oh, did your husband make it for you?"
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
that would
absolutely,
be
yeah.
hated today. But yeah, so
And shout out to the women that are like ringside, like screaming smack at him, like for their improv skills.
the
Like
spider,
yeah, like
wing,
like Bruce Campbell
or the human
just
spider, whatever he
said. Yeah, he's like, he got my name wrong, and my name is the human spider.
Cameo from Octavia Spencer. As,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
table
absolutely.
lady.
But like he just said the Amazing Spider-Man, and like 2 seconds later, all those girls are like throwing out these spider puns and like and I'm gonna rip your 8 legs off, and it's like, wow, you guys are really good at your job. Like it's been like 15 seconds.
Daniel said, "Can TJ use his mic?" Sorry.
Oh,
I was
whoops.
laughing. I was laughing too hard.
But yeah, no, that shit was so fucking funny.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
$3,000 for 3 minutes. You pinned him in 2.
You
For
pinned
that,
him in 2.
you get 100.
Yeah, the disintegration of the
I need that money.
The pumpkin bombs. Were
Oh,
also
yeah.
a great part of that movie.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was
Yeah.
like great aspect of that movie. But yeah,
Mhm.
all right. Your number 2? Question mark.
Well, your number 2 has to be
It's
Homecoming.
Homecoming,
Yeah.
yeah.
It has to be.
It has to be.
It
Yeah.
is.
I guess we all have number 1.
Yeah, we have
Oh
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
I figured that would be the case. So
Yeah,
we're talking about Homecoming.
definitely a hot take, Ryan.
Yeah, we're talking about Homecoming. Yeah, let's talk about
Homecoming.
Homecoming. Great movie. So
I just
good.
think everything works for me. I love the Tony Stark and
8 out of
Spider-Man
10.
relationship. And I
I'd give it
think
8 out of 10.
the best
Yeah.
part of the movie
I
is
agree with that.
Michael Keaton's Vulture.
Oh,
Like
by
I
far.
think
Like what we talked about last night when you were watching it, and it just the door scene, and
door
then like
scene,
what I
yeah.
messaged you, the scene, and this goes to John Watts as director, like the scene where they're in the car, and he's like, "Ooh, you know, good thing your old pal Spider-Man was," and then and you see it, it's like you don't even like you register it, but you don't really register that the red light on his face is the stoplight until it all clicks and it goes green and Michael Keaton's
The
face
editing in the movie is
like Michael Keaton's face just has the slightest change, and you're like, he knows he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like right in that moment, like the whole time you're like, oh my god, is he figuring it out? And then just the expert like of just that non-vocal, no dialogue, no real change in Michael Keaton's acting other than like a little twitch on his face. Just with that green light going on in his face, it's like boom, he figured it out. Like I fucking love that. And then you know, me and Peter are gonna have the dad talk, and then he just pulls out a gun and point. And I'm like, we're gonna talk about it in a second with our number 1 movie, but there are villains that are awesome, and then there's villains that just rock up with a gun, and you're like, okay, this is getting very real, like very fast for whoever the said Spider-Man is in the situation. And I love that shit. But yeah, he's so good as the Vulture. I really hope he's in.
I thought
tomorrow.
all the action scenes were great. And again, the whole kind of like, he has the suit, and then Tony comes. He's like, "You're nothing without the suit. You shouldn't have it."
Yeah.
Best part of the
He
movie.
takes
If you
it.
really cared, then you would actually be here.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
am
best.
here.
Yeah.
100% best
Yeah.
part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like and I really do like the Vulture, the 2 scenes that you had mentioned, but like it just like resonates me as like as a person that like I would find myself doing that. Like, you don't even care. You're not even here. Like, why am I even talking to you? You're sitting, and then he like comes out and it's like, the holy
shit.
shit moment, like, oh my god, like this is about to get real.
Yeah.
Like Tony Stark is now in the movie, and he is going to actually like do something to like punish Tom Holland for like going too far and doing too much and trying.
And I love too when he's like Tony's like, he's like, they all said that I was crazy for recruiting a 14-year-old kid, and he's like I'm 15, and he's just like, no, this is where you zip it. Stop talk, like he you feel
That's
it. You're like,
my kids at school.
and it's like, honestly, it's like, Peter, you almost just murdered everyone on the Staten Island ferry. Everyone. Because the gun, the weapon was just sitting there, and it was about to overheat, but you could have webbed it and just like thrown it into the water or something. You know what I mean? Like, but you shooting it a bunch of times made it overload and split the fucking boat in half. You did that, and it's like, oh my god, it's just crazy. I would be pissed off too, but I just love that when it's like he.
Thank you for tuning in mine. Sorry.
Boom. Thank you. Yeah, but he does not he does not pull any like punches with that. Like, I love that it's just like, no, Tony is like, because he's made the same mistakes. You know what I mean? Right. And it's like, you can't just do whatever you want with your power. You know what I mean? Like, it's with great power, great responsibility. Same type of message, just told in a different way. But it's like, you can't just fucking do this shit. And I love too when he's like, well, what were you doing about it? And he's like, why the fuck do you think the FBI was there, you fucking idiot? Like, I called them. Like, I love that it's just like, it's like, oh yeah, Peter really did fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like,
as
and
a
I like
15-year-old kid would. And
exactly.
Like, it's just like, and I did say like realism. I don't need that, but like when you even have that along with the like comic book like side of that, and just like adding to it all together, it just like really really works. I just had it just a little bit below because, and this is not a knock on Michael Keaton. I just found that John Beck's Mysterio is just way better as a villain. Vulture before this movie wasn't that interesting to me.
Right. Yeah.
So like it was just like his interpretation was really really good. And I said this before with like you actually feel for then the villain because like he goes to clean up the mess that the Avengers made and
damage control
he's like treated like
screws him
shit. So he's just like, well, you know what, now I got all the like the equipment, now I'm gonna do something with it. And
I also
and they did the humor right, I think. Like, for example, like there's a dance downstairs. What are you doing? I'm watching porn. And just like some of the other moments is like that, like I feel like everything just like worked for me. And
what was I gonna say too? Oh yeah, also I just loved so many things in that movie are unspoken, like just in set design or location or implied stuff. Like in the beginning, when he's talking to the lady from Damage Control, and he's like, I bought trucks for this job.
Right.
I mortgaged my house. Like, I could lose my house with it. You know what I mean? I got guys on here that could lose their house. We're all in on this. Like, you can't just shut us down. And then later in the movie, when you see Liz and his house, it's like this giant mansion. And it's like that, just that shows you, he did this at first, yes, to make it better for him and his family and everything, but it shows you how he's over dipping. You know what I mean? He's overindulging in this lifestyle that was just supposed to, help them out, make them even, that kind of thing. And it's like you can tell how like he has fully gone into like no, I'm not just gonna make sure that I can like make my scratch to live. I'm gonna go over the top and we're gonna keep doing this stuff. Like, but I also love too that it's like the Tinkerer like keeps pushing him. He's like, I did the high altitude vacuum seal or whatever for the the big one, and he's like no, I'm like, we're not doing that. Like, he just strikes me as somebody, even though he's sympathetic for so many other reasons, it's also one of those things that you can tell it's like every time it's like, no, I'm gonna just do one more and that's it. Like, I gotta get out of this. But it's like he just can't stop himself. You know what I mean? I love that about the character. And that's all stuff that's not even done through dialogue. That's just like, stuff that is implied. And then I like too that it's like he's never he would kill somebody if he had to, like with the Shocker, but I love too that he didn't even think he was gonna kill the Shocker. Like, he was like, I thought that was the anti-gravity gun. Like, and it like disintegrated him. Yeah. But then he's like, okay, well, I guess you're the Shocker now. You know what I mean? Like, he was like taken aback by it, but like he's not opposed to doing it to basically protect his family, which I really,
Go around
I
calling
just really
yourself
love.
a shocker. Ooh,
Yeah,
you shock
yeah, I
people.
shock people. What is this, pro wrestling? Yeah, I love that.
That's
Meanwhile,
also a really good line from that. Yeah.
yeah. Meanwhile,
wrestling
you're
thing.
the fucking
Yeah.
Vulture.
And then they also just kind of drop these characters in, like like obviously Shocker,
And
we have
Prowler.
Scorpion, Prowler,
Yeah.
you know, and then my nephew lives in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my, you know,
Yeah.
this whole thing. Like I was like, oh,
all
man,
those
they're
people,
just, like
like this
setting
is
us all up.
great. Like No Way Home is great, but I want whether it's the sixth movie, it would probably make sense. Like if it's the sixth movie, like maybe there isn't a sixth member to form the Sinister Six. You know what I mean? Like maybe they just do five, and maybe his sixth movie is full on
Sixth
Donald Glover as the Prowler,
Mm-hmm.
Scorpion. You know what I mean? Like because it's great to have Alfred Molina and all them back, but I want him to fight a Sinister Six of his villains.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So like I like
Not
that
that I know.
put that. Yeah. He's the sixth. He's the sixth member. Oh my god.
Yeah.
God.
I swear.
But yeah, just solid, great movie.
Really
just,
good, yeah.
Just edged out a little bit by the twisting of the Mysterio, but again, great. As
Number
the
one.
two Tom Hardy movies are, and expecting the third one. Yep. But
Oh, and I
number one.
really like the opening too, with like his little home movie of the events of Civil War.
Oh, same with
Yeah.
same with Far From Home. The rest in like the in memory of. The
Oh yeah,
tribute. That
the
was
Whitney
good.
Houston.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
like,
so number
it's like
one.
Shutterstock.
Yep.
JPEGs.
Number one.
Number one.
Spider-Verse.
Venom. Let there be
Spider-Verse.
carnage. Oh,
Yeah.
Spider-Verse.
walking on that
Spider-Man, turn out the dark.
Oh, okay.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
I told Tron, I go, maybe I should tell Brandon that is part of it.
Yeah.
No.
No, okay.
We gotta look up the slime tutorial, right?
Yep.
Oy.
So we were contemplating on whether or not to put the Spider-Verse into our rankings.
Right, yeah.
Turns out it didn't matter because it's not
yeah.
in our rankings. It's
Yeah.
above our rankings.
Right. So we would all just have just one.
Everything would be
lower-
one up. Yeah.
Everyone would be a one up. So, absolutely, and I told this to TJ. Absolutely fantastic soundtrack. Works perfectly. The animation is done so great. The style, the story of Miles Morales is great. Just the whole thing with like Spider-Man dying in the beginning, him coming of age and everything.
It's not always about money, Spider-Man. It's
Yeah.
about the Mets, baby.
The whole
Met.
twist of the Prowler, and
Oh yeah.
it's just like
And that's what I was referencing earlier with when it's all fine and dandy when they're all having that crazy fight in the house with Scorpion and Tombstone and Prowler and stuff. But when Kingpin gets out of that car and
Just
just
fucking
just glocks
Yeah.
Aaron, and you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and he just poof, and he's just gone, and he
Yeah.
just falls down on the roof, and it's just like,
Yep.
holy shit! And then he goes to turn the fucking gun on Miles. Like
Yeah.
he's about to just shoot Miles. Like,
Yeah.
why? And it's like that's another thing too that like there's another property in Marvel that is
boo
is,
movie stinks. Get out of here.
Get outta
Not
here.
true.
That is
Yeah.
not true at all.
It's also a very good movie, and like now that I'm gonna have a child, like that is definitely like a movie that I would probably want to start them on. Like
To me too, like one of the most upsetting things I've ever seen in a movie is it almost made me feel as much as like Tony's funeral is like when the song Hide is on by Juice WRLD or whatever.
Yep.
And it's like
yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
another great part of that
Spider-Man
soundtrack. Yep.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man has been found dead, and he was like a 26-year-old grad student named Peter Parker, and everybody's just like, oh my god. And it's like, and it just pans across New York City, and you just see and the music you're like, this city is like fucked. You know what I mean? You're like, it's like they're all like terrified because it's like, holy shit, like Spider-Man just fucking died. Like, what does that mean for us? What does that mean for... And then also the revelation, especially I think it's the very first person you see react to it is his dad, right after he's like, honey, you know how I feel about Spider-Man. Like, I hate Spider... You know what I mean? And it's like when he realizes that, oh my god, this guy's like, only a little bit older than Miles, really. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even fathom that. And it's just like, he's just a freaking kid. And he's been doing... And then when they go, like, too, like, he's been operating as Spider-Man since he was 15. It's like, it's the same thing with, like, the PS4 game, too. Is, like, that version of Spider-Man has been Spider-Man for, 11 years. And he's only, 26. Like, he's been Spider-Man since he was literally a kid. And it's like I
Morales.
hope we get there one day with Tom Holland's. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't mind if they kill him. You know what I mean? Like like eventually. And have almost a moment like that where it's like, Spider-Man has been found like assuming at the end of this everybody forgets his identity again. Like, Spider-Man has been found dead and he was a, 22-year-old kid from Queens.
Right.
You're like, holy fucking shit, like what? You know what I mean? Because you just assume that it's the same thing in Spider-Man 2 with the train scene where he's like, make whatever jokes you want about Toby looking old. Like when he takes the mask off and he's like, he's just a kid. You know what I mean? They're like, he's just a freaking kid. He's like, he's no older than my son. Like, I love that shit. And the funny thing is, like, Spider-Man to me is not even remotely my favorite Marvel character. Like, but just the amount of emotional, like, weight and shit that you can do with the character of Spider-Man because just everybody loves it so much is, like, crazy. Like, we just met that Peter Parker 15 minutes prior. Yep. And you got me on the verge of tears with not only his death, but then New York's reaction to it and the music that plays and stuff. It's like so emotional. It's the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought was like crazy. I was like, are they gonna bring him back or like what are they gonna do?
And it's just like no, the rest of the movie. Dead. Kingpin crushed his chest.
Yeah, he's like going around and like saving people, and then he just like all of a sudden just gets like hit out of the air, and then
And again. With this movie, they place the comedic beats in there, like when MJ's making the speech and Miles is like, "They need me," and the guy's like, "I think it's just a metaphor."
Yeah, I think it's more of a metaphor. It's probably not you specifically.
Yeah,
I love that.
But like I think a lot of people's like favorite and just like most iconic shot is the leap of faith, like off the off the glass and just
like
Miles Morales starts on PS4 or PS5, I should say. Like,
what?
He's already Spider-Man, I think, in Miles in the game.
Yeah, because he becomes.
I thought that was like a big thing. Like you can do that shot.
No,
like,
well you can.
Well, yeah, you can recreate it.
Yeah, you can recreate it.
Yeah, it's so like the game is like so faithful to it. You can absolutely recreate it.
like I said, I still really need to play that game.
But
I love the.
You played. I would say did you play the.
Yeah, I played
Spider-Man PS4.
I beat the first one.
Yeah.
Completed that. That's my only platinum trophy, but like I completed that.
Same. Or no, I Ratchet and Clank. I also played.
I completed that the first week or whatever it was.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like for me too, like Jake Johnson is like Peter B. Parker is like to me one of the best parts of that whole movie.
Even like Nicolas Cage and
but just the like just even like the voiceover of just like that's all it is, Miles. It's a leap of faith. Like I'm like holy fucking shit. Like this movie, I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm serious. Like I'm gonna just watch it after this.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch Homecoming and Far From Home tomorrow.
Not gonna watch Spider-Man 1 again.
Spider-Man 1 is in my head constantly, just playing on a loop.
What kind of torture is that?
Yeah, that's great. What's it called? But yeah, like, and then at the end when he's when Peter B. Parker is about to go into the portal and Miles is holding on to him and he's like you gotta go get back with MJ. Like you gotta get your shit together. You know what I mean? And then Peter says to Miles, he's like, like, what if she won't take me back? And Miles, throws it back at him. And he's like, you won't know. Mm-hmm. It's just a leap of faith. You know what I mean? And then the whole, and then just even when then the music is going and it's like, you know what I mean? And then Peter B. Parker starts falling in, and then it just does the close-up on his face, and all the music cuts out, and he's just like, not bad, kid. Mm-hmm. And then, I'm like, damn, like, this fucking movie is just, everything about it is, like, it is like a master class in superhero, specific Spider-Man, and, like, animation.
Yeah.
All world, and incorporating music into the story.
Yeah, you also didn't need a main Spider-Man villain. Like that's I thought another big draw of it is it was a very well told story without having like the main 5 villains that you can name.
Yeah, and
like,
it's
they are not going to come off the top of your head as Kingpin
and I like the
Tombstone.
the Kingpin was and they had like the ultimate Green Goblin with like the the big monster version of it, which was like cool.
Yeah,
but like And I liked that it was like a sentient one too. That like Chris Pine was like, Norman, you don't want to do this, and he's like, well, you don't know what I want to do. It's like I love that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with that, like you said, like Scorpion, Tombstone, like a female Doc Ock, like that was so cool.
Hahn, yep.
Yeah, Catherine Hahn is so good, and I love when, Peter, Miles, and Gwen are like, all right, this is gonna take a while, and she's like. Doc Ock is like ready to get like lunge, and she like launches at them and then just and gets hit by a truck. And it's like just so fucking stupid.
I'm just thinking of like just the music and everything. The Prowler's like kind of theme.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That
I just like
so
they're very.
Yeah.
I have a couple of soundtracks on my phone, and the one from Into the Spider-Verse is definitely the one that I have.
I did. I got my. I don't
the most replayed ones.
Yeah, I don't do Spotify, but I do YouTube Music, and I got it's like the Spotify rap version on YouTube Music. I got my like recap or whatever, and still my number one album in 2021 was Spider-Verse. Like it was just like because I just listen to all the songs on it all the time because they're just so it's just so good. And then like Sunflower, like we haven't talked about that.
Sunflower is by far like the best. And this is not a knock on any of the songs on this, but like the way they did that whole intro with Sunflower and having like the words be saying it, and it's like he's like doing his little dance, he's like getting ready for score or whatever, and like it was just I thought it was just great, and I'm like I said, like I would definitely show this to like my kid, and I'm like,
and also just the visual style,
right? And like I rank these like movies that I would easily rewatch, and I feel like this is the most rewatchable version, and I just like keep on watching it, and it's just gonna make me enjoy it. Every
like if
time.
you said, like with a kid or something, if you said, all right, what if you were to not even just a kid, if you were to show somebody, if you could only show somebody one Spider-Man movie to get the gist of what Spider-Man is, what it stands for, and what it means to people, and something that's good. There's literally no other option.
We did, and we mentioned it earlier. It's the whole like anybody can be Spider-Man. He's behind the suit.
Anybody. He's like anybody can wear the mask. Yeah. You can wear the mask. You know what I mean? Like,
and then it's like he says it'll fit eventually, and then he points like the no refund sign.
Yeah.
It's like tears and laughter at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh fucking hell, you're killing me over here. Oh my god.
Yeah. Definitely.
God damn that.
Top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get Miles in the MCU eventually at some point.
Well, I'm sure we will.
It'll probably happen soon. Maybe,
well, we already know he exists. Oh
yeah, that's true. He does.
He's just got to get old enough.
Yeah. When are we gonna get?
Which you could kind of play with the
there are some
with the
characters
blip.
that need to kind of come. Like we need some Donald Glover at some
or
point.
Like or Kevin Feige was interviewed about the leader, like Tim Blake Nelson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like somebody was like, oh, it was Ben Bateman actually.
Okay.
Was like characters like the leader and stuff that you guys have put out there. Are you ever gonna go? And he was like, listen, stuff like that. He was like stuff like that. He even said he was like Donald Glover, a couple others. He was like, it's like an embarrassment of riches. He was like he said the worst thing I could do is to go back and use a character just to use them.
Right. Yeah.
And then need to use them later. And not have them in the same, you know what I mean? Like he was like, I don't want to just put the leader in or make or do the Prowler in the next Spider-Man movie. If we could build a beautiful story with whoever the actor is that we get to play Miles, with Donald Glover later on, you know what I mean? Like that would be, a disservice to the character type of thing. So that I hope that like we see, Donald Glover, just for an example, like become the Prowler with Tom Holland, but then maybe he's the villain of like the first Miles movie. And then, you get the reveal basically in there that, it's your uncle. Hopefully he doesn't die in this one, but R.I.P. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I think that'll do it.
Aside from our top four, I mean, we're pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I will say 2 through. Well, I guess it would be 2, 4, and 5 are all mixed for us, but 1, 3, 6, 7, 8 were all pretty.
Yeah, I knew Spider-Verse would be. I feel like that's just like.
I am very surprised that you both
a lot of
that
people
high.
that's.
Yeah.
And then you both had Spider-Man 2 that low. Like I said, I think I usually come on with the hot takes.
Yeah. I know people like
the movies.
I think watching the Raimi trilogy again, because I had only really watched it like as a kid,
right?
Because I had them on DVD.
Right.
Or at least the first one, because Green Goblin always scared me, so I never really watched that one that much.
Yeah, Caleb McLaughlin is Miles 100%.
And the third one,
I would be
that
behind
could
that.
work. And the third one I watched a lot. And the second one I never really watched that much, but watching them this time, the campiness of the first two just really worked for me.
Yeah.
And obviously the third one's the third one.
Yeah. I think when it comes to casting Miles, it all just will come down to what age they want him to be. Because, I mean, it's like, yeah, Caleb McLaughlin, he would be good, but, if they want a 12-year-old Miles or like a...
Or when you start shooting it's going to be probably like 14-year-old
Yeah,
Miles
and it's
or
like
something,
Caleb
or
McLaughlin,
15.
by the time he might shoot as Miles in, let's even say it's the next Spider-Man. Let's say it's Spider-Man 4 that he's introduced. He's going to be 20. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be very old,
Right.
Talking about this makes me really excited for Spider-Man 2 on PS5.
Yeah.
Because that game.
Well, it makes me excited for a lot of things. It
Yeah.
gets me pumped for, the next
That game was
Spider-Man
so
game.
good. Like I'll keep saying it. That first one
Yeah.
was so
I
good.
know. Yeah, that.
Miles Morales is really good.
It's the only
love
reason
that
I wanted to
game.
get a PS5. So
That's
I
my
made-
most played game.
was Miles Morales.
It's on
Yeah.
PS4, I think.
What?
Miles Morales?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on PS4. No?
You can't
Gotta
do it.
have it in
Can't
the
do it to him.
high power.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be eventually. But like I remember playing that game nonstop, basically that after that summer, and like just staying up all day and playing, just getting super addicted to that game. And that was like the last game, like story mode wise, that I like really got addicted to.
Yeah.
That I like wanted to complete everything. I mean, we talked about like Legend of Zelda and like the things I've gone through with that, but like the Spider-Man games, just like that, the movement in that, you actually felt like you were Spider-Man in the city.
You
It had a
feel
lot of
even
callback.
faster in Miles.
Yeah, probably.
And you're gonna feel even faster in the second one. Like they said that's like their top priority. They're like, once we worked out the story, top priority was how can we make it even more fluid, even more dynamic, like that kind. Like, and I'm just so
It's
fucking
already so
excited.
dynamic.
I know, I'm just so excited for it.
I'll have to get
Yeah.
into that. But yeah,
Awesome.
super excited for tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is now making.
Yeah,
me-
I know.
The hype, man.
I gotta
Hype.
get through tomorrow.
It's great.
And then I'm off Friday from
And-
my work.
Sorry, real quick. I'll just say I was personally. I don't know about you.
You're
I was
feeling
actually
22.
no, but I was shocked that the like when the first like tomato rating like first came out, that was so high.
I
I don't
will
know
say
what
I-
it's at now.
Yeah,
but
don't.
It's
don't,
I think
don't,
it was like
no, no.
98% the last
Oh,
time
okay.
I like
Okay.
looked. but
90.
98. But like, so
Jesus,
I
'cause when
also
you sent me that, it was with 74 reviews or something. It was 100 still. So that's
yeah,
crazy.
I never.
expected-
Sorry, real quick. I never played Spider-Man 2 on PS2.
That's
So I
what I
don't
was talking
know.
about. The game is fantastic. That was one of my most played games on the PS2. Like I like well, it was just like great with.
Is that the
like-
one with the meme of the lady that's like screaming and she's like, "I'm going to die," and then
Yeah.
and then Spider-Man falls on his face, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's all like, but like it was
That's
just
funny.
it was just a bad graphics version of that. Like you can fly around the city.
Yeah.
You can save anybody that were in the streets that had like little markers or whatever. But like, yeah, it was. But back to the point of like how I expected the ratings to be for this. I am a little surprised. I thought it'd be like maybe like mid 80s to like even maybe low 90s. But like the fact that like so many people just are so in love with this, and I will say that like Last Jedi also had that happen when it first came out.
That's true. Critics loved it.
Yeah, critics loved
Audience
Last
hated
Jedi,
it.
and
Yeah.
then we know what happened after that. But didn't live up to the hype, so I'm just gonna keep my.
But
you
we did
continue
get
to
Bobby
be
Frick,
what
right?
Tom Holland Spider-Man could be. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Far From Home and Homecoming 3 and 4 for me, just very very solid movies. Just don't get the number 1 and 2 spot because the other two movies were just A plus and A. I'll say for Spider-Man 2.
And who knows? We might have to do this again.
Yeah, who
It
knows?
might
We could
be.
both be like, this beats Spider-Verse. I don't think it will, but
It might.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, but it
Yeah.
might.
If those two show up, it might.
I mean,
And
For me,
and
they would
Willem
have to
Dafoe says
show
back
up-
to formula.
Yeah. Well, if he said, I
And
mean,
Willem
it's
Dafoe?
over.
Yeah.
It's
I
over.
heard. No, I don't want to say
Don't.
Yeah,
do
don't
it.
say it.
Was Dr. Strom spotted on set?
anything. No.
Oh,
Oh,
my God.
I guess I didn't see the question when she asked about Spider-Man 2, but definitely PS4 Spider-Man was more enjoyable. Because Spider-Man 2 had a couple of moments, and I vividly
I'm going to
remember
die.
moments that were almost unbeatable for me as a child.
Yeah.
So it's it gets games were harder back then.
Yeah.
Not as enjoyable to just like play through.
Mm-hmm. I will say when you do get Miles Morales with his like Venom attacks and stuff, you can really fuck some dudes up. Like you can, it's really fun. Like
yeah, like the first game just had so many like things that like like that like they like introduced and like.
Well, it's also like the gadgets and stuff.
Yeah, like being able to customize Spider-Man's things and like play through it.
That was another thing I liked.
Like the suit powers and stuff.
Web bomb, the shock web, all that stuff. I love that whole like.
I do like how
when Karen's like, she's like, because he hijacked out of the babysitter protocol, and she's like, you seem very unfamiliar with your like she's like, I thought you did this. She's like, you seem very unfamiliar with your web settings. Do you want to refresh your course? But yeah, I mean that'll do it. I think that'll do it for this episode. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
I've been one of your hosts, Sean Monk. Stay tuned. You free Saturday?
Yeah, we just have. I'm going to Hamilton at night.
What?
Hamilton at night.
Oh,
back around, making its rounds.
Yeah, then.
Probably Hawkeye. Gotta talk Hawkeye.
Well, I was gonna say.
And a review, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say both. Maybe.
Free on Saturday? You want to join?
It'll probably have to be like Saturday morning. Yeah. I'm going to see No Way Home on Saturday.
For the third time.
Oh, that's what we could talk about. How many viewings do you guys have?
1.
I just have 2 right now, but I'll probably go again.
You only have 1. When are you going?
10 o'clock tomorrow night.
You're in
so
Amherst.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Terrible seating.
10 o'clock you're going to though?
Yeah.
Oh wait, what is it 2D or 3D?
Please tell me you got 2D. Sorry.
Oh, I see.
It was bought by a friend.
okay. It was probably 2D.
It was $14.50 bought online.
That's 2D.
I don't mean to sound old. When I started working at the movie theater,
it was $14.50.
That sounds like 3D to me.
I think that's 3D. It was $14.50 total.
I'll maybe it was just 14.
AMC app's not even working.
Okay, because a ticket is $11.99.
Does he have?
But
there's also like convenience fee he might have paid.
If you're a Stubbs premium member though, or whatever, I'm gonna come home with.
But either way,
tomorrow. Thank God I have off.
My disappointment.
Wait, you said 10 o'clock? There's a 10 o'clock 3D.
There's
and
three.
2D.
There's 3 10 o'clocks.
Oh, so I don't know.
Yeah, 2 are 3D, 1 is 2D.
Can I will say the reason I only go to one showing, the movie theater experience has since been ruined by a couple of people.
Pesky pixies. Right.
Yeah. Just I will enjoy it the one time. I really do.
Turn off the flash, you fucking moron! Like that.
Daniel said that was the Jim Halper camera glare.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I do like watching it in the comfort of my own home by myself. Usually, I don't even watch. He had asked me if I watch it with my wife, and I say no because I like to watch the movies by myself. I get into a dark basement, sit there, focus, read the captions, just because I know that people don't like captions, and I think that's like something that I never did as a child, and I think that it's just so much better, and it allows me to catch so much more of what's going on in the movie. But I just like being able to do it at my own pace, being able to do what I do as I'm watching it, so I don't have to sit there and really focus. I understand if people want to see it 3 times so you don't miss anything, and you want to go rewatch it and you really like it and whatever. Even if you don't like it, you want to go back, see if you do like it the second time. So it's just I can't even remember the last time I went. Last Jedi might have been the movie that I saw 2 times in the span of 24 hours. Like I went to the opening night and then I went to the next morning. But yeah,
last movie I planned to see twice was Rise of Skywalker, and I watched
you
it
got
once
that
and canceled them both.
Yeah.
Awful.
Sorry, Danielle.
Yeah, the last movie I wanted to see twice was Rise of Skywalker. The last movie I did see twice in one night was Endgame.
I was saying Endgame. You went
nope, that's a lie. It was actually Far From Home. That was the last movie I saw twice. Isn't it crazy? With all of COVID taken into consideration, Far From Home only came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They've consistently cranked out Tom Holland Spider-Man movies every 2 years.
Only 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's 2019.
It was after Endgame.
It was right after Endgame.
Gosh, it doesn't feel like it was just that.
And when you said you thought the villain was going to be Taskmaster, you're a movie off because Taskmaster was the villain in Black Widow.
Yeah.
So you're close.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say that? Oh yeah. So I got. Wait. So how many do you? Oh,
Just
you have
two
two
right now.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
honest though, not looking forward to the 3D thing. I thought it was like.
You mean the 40X?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was 40X. But I guess it makes sense. Like, 3D 40.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just like the whole movement thing and everything like that.
No,
But
a whole bunch
you know,
of shit.
I'm still.
But either way,
I'll
the
handle it.
whole
I'll get
point
it.
of
Yeah.
that it's cool that we're going is we're going. If it's terrible, it's terrible. But we've done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I say the same
Is
thing.
that the Friday showing?
Yeah, me and my mom went to we went and we saw Black Widow at the Screen X, which is the 270-degree field of view. It not that great.
Okay.
But I'm glad we did it. You know what I mean? Like I will see any screen experience. I'll see it once. You know what I mean? As long as it's not the first, or as long as it's not the only time I see the movie in theaters. Which actually, that's wrong because I've actually only seen Black Widow twice. The only time I saw it in theaters was that time, and then I just rewatched it 3 days ago or something. But usually I will make sure that it's like. But that's not as jarring, I feel, as the 40X is gonna be. But but you know, we'll see
But
how it
there's
is.
buttons I think you can like turn.
You can turn settings off,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'll have to ask you
Huh?
where you're going to see that then, because I didn't know they
The 40X?
There's only one location.
Regal.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know they
the
offered
mall.
that.
Yeah.
The mall.
I think it's
Yeah.
new. How is it new?
2018, I think it was
okay.
built.
So not that.
So the last
Um,
IMAX movie and the last Regal movie I saw was Solo. So that was
Oh,
the last
nice.
thing I saw in IMAX
But yeah, I have right now.
Oh, Solo.
I
my
have.
man Ryan.
I think
who
I
was
have.
in there.
I think I have 6 showings
6
Of
because
Spider-Man.
in a row.
I have no. So I
Okay.
have
No, I mean like
I have-
day after day. Like
no,
Thursday,
not
Friday,
6 days.
Saturday, Sunday,
No,
Monday,
within
Tuesday?
4 days.
Oh, gee. Fucking hell. Sorry,
You have
I gotta
6
stop
showings in
swearing.
4 days.
I have 2. I have 2 on Thursday night
Wait. You're going at 6 and when?
and at 10.
It's.
Um,
Oh, you'll see Sean there.
I have 2. I have 2 Thursday night.
Are you gonna like take like a dinner break between the two?
I will say this too. I will say this. I want to be going to see it in about an hour, but my mother would kill me if I saw it without her first.
Oh yeah.
But I would have another one on Thursday.
That's.
So Friday, what are you doing Friday? You're seeing
Do
it with
you
us?
spend
Friday
your
I'm
whole
seeing
life
it
at the
again.
movie theater because you're gonna be working? And
No,
then,
actually, I have not gone to see a movie.
I'm just asking because
in
like you
such a long
clearly.
time.
This is a busy time for the movie theater, and if
Yeah.
you're working, like you're gonna be working obviously in your position and
Yeah.
everything. So like if you're seeing this twice in one night, are you
Mhm.
like I'm guessing? Are you tomorrow morning?
No, I'm off magically.
Yeah. How did you get off? That's crazy.
Pixie dust.
I think we have a friend
exactly.
who's probably working. He's like, oh, I don't want to work.
Huh?
I said we probably have a friend that's working.
Oh
who's probably
yeah,
like, oh, this is
absolutely,
ridiculous.
Absolutely, yeah. But so I have 2 Thursday night. Like I said, I could be going to see it in an hour.
Okay.
I'll give you guys.
Well, you're not.
I'll fill you guys in on that in
Well,
a second.
I think we put it together. I think it's okay.
Well, I mean, if you want, it's on the table. I think that you guys would be fine. But two.
Right
I
now,
have,
I cannot see the movie without.
I know. I have. So I have 2 on Thursday. The one with you on
Friday.
morning. Then I have. I'm gonna see it twice on Saturday. Once again with my mom, and then I'm gonna see it again probably just by myself. The one by myself, I might just go see it again regular, or I might try and get an IMAX ticket, but I don't know if there's gonna be any available. Probably not. And then I'm gonna see it on Monday.
Talk about knowing quotes in movies. If there are any quotable lines from one to
You'll
four.
know 'em.
I'll have them. Yeah. But by the next show. Oh, by the way, tune in next week for our Christmas episode.
Oh yeah.
Where my mother herself will be on the show, ranking our top 10 holiday favorites. So tune in for that one.
That's interesting.
But yeah, I'm gonna see it at least 6 times before the next show. I really wish it was 7.
I would be down to a second show if that's what.
I wish
put
it
on
was
the table.
7. I wish it was 8 because if my mom didn't care,
It was 8.
if my mom didn't care if I saw
How many times did you see Force Awakens? Because I remember this being a thing.
I saw Force Awakens 36 times in the theaters. You know how many times I saw Far From Home? That was my previous most watch. Because I love that movie. That was
I'm
a great
sorry. The
theatrical
movie
experience.
I've seen, and this is just happenstance on how it worked out. I think the movie I've seen the most in theaters is Captain Marvel. I think I saw it 3 times in theaters.
That's the most you've ever seen.
It
one
just
movie?
like happened to work out that way.
You would never get to my most seen movie that I've seen in theaters 4 times. Fury, with
Fury with Brad
Oh.
Pitt.
Pitt. Shia
That's
LaBeouf.
it. That's the most you've ever seen a movie 4 times.
in one showing of a theater movie.
But yeah, I saw Force Awakens.
I saw it by
Force Awakens
myself.
36
Yeah.
times.
I saw it with my older brother because I was like, this movie's so good, you got to come
Yeah.
see it. And then my younger brother, and then I stayed after one of my shifts and just watched it because I was just like, I really like the movie. So
Nice.
in my classroom, I have a Civil War poster because I like to
Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I try to like reference it when we're talking about the Cold War. I would like to say, hey, Captain America's blue. That's what the USA side was. Iron Man is red. That's the Soviet side, and that's what's like what was going on in the world. So I can't really connect it to the Civil War because they're obviously different points
Yeah.
of what was going on. But like, yeah, and then the other movie poster is Fury, because and it's one of my favorite war movies. It's not overdone. It's just a very good story and very gritty World War II style movie, which is what I really enjoy. I love teaching World War II to kids that like have no idea and just like learn about it because I just go on and on. And I feel like teaching can be that way. 'Cause, like,
Are you excited for the King's Man coming out? Highlighting in movie form the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, that's another thing that like the kids really there are certain things that I teach that kids will like latch onto every year, no matter what. No matter
Archduke
how
Franz
I teach
Ferdinand.
it. Assassination of Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
I remembered it as a kid was Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
And like that's how I will always remember Franz
Yeah.
Ferdinand's name. And so like but like the kids really just always remember it somehow. Like they'll always remember that started World War One. But the Kingsman 1 is probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's very good. It's such a good fucking movie.
Taron Egerton is probably one of my favorite actors that have come out in the past decade.
You gonna go see Sing 2?
No,
They're trying to get that lion to sing.
I did not like
That's what I hear.
Sing 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lion in the Sand?
I think his whole thing with like the Elton John thing and how that was like his prelude to Rocket Man, but like I just it was that Zootopia. Like I didn't really connect with those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Over the Hedge though.
Fair enough.
Goat.
Open season?
No.
Anybody? Okay. Yeah. That's too far. No, but yeah. So that was my most. But then Far From Home, I saw. I think Far From Home I saw 11 times in theaters.
Well, I mean, you're looking to break it with Far From Home, so.
Yeah.
You mean No Way Home?
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah, that's what I meant. Did I just say the same?
But I will say maybe not though, because Far From Home I saw it 11 times like in the first 2 weeks, and then I never went back. Endgame was more spread out because that was like emotional and long and like a big effort to watch that movie. Endgame I watched I think 9 times, but I saw it twice on opening night, then once the next day, then not at all for a month. And then I went back and I watched it because that was when I lived in Lewiston. So I would get off of work because this was when I worked at Geico. I would get off of work at 9 and I would just go to the 10 o'clock Endgame. And I would just watch Endgame. And I did that multiple times for weeks until the point where it was literally, I saw Endgame 4 times at that Lewiston Regal where I was the only person in the theater. I saw 4 private showings of Endgame basically. There's something weird Phantom of the Megaplex going on with that Lewiston Regal. Because that was the
last time you've been there?
When was the last time I was there?
Yeah.
Well, it was pre-COVID. No.
Midsummer?
No, I was about to get there. No, I have seen something there. Oh, right, the Screen X, Black Widow. That was the last thing I saw.
Oh, yeah.
That was the
you
one
did
there.
mention that, yeah.
I was like, I definitely saw something after COVID, but yeah, that was what it was. But I was just gonna say, yeah, Midsummer, the one night I worked at AMC, I did shipment at AMC from 8 to 12 noon. And then I went to Geico and I worked 1 to 9:30. And then I went and I watched the 10:15 Midsummer. And my brain was like rotted. And I just sat there. I don't think I blinked for the entire movie. And I fell in love with Florence Pugh. I fell in love with that movie, and my brain has never been the same since that experience. And I literally just sat, like, as the credits rolled, I literally just sat there and I was like, and I was the only one in the theater. I think I was the only one in the building. I don't know if there was any staff there. And it just it was just one of those things where, like, you know, when you watch, like, when you're a kid, you get the feeling a lot more of, like, being, like, transported in a movie theater. But I just got the feeling that I was, like, on another plane of existence. I was like, I don't know what's happening. Mm-hmm. I was so tired, but the movie was so good and so Ari Aster and just all over the place. I was like,
sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the two things, Star is Born. I had a friend that saw that movie upwards of 10 to 15 times.
Good movie.
Yeah, just great. The Rule, we have talked about that, about the whole.
Oh, that rule doesn't apply to managers. Maybe it did, but
right,
straight from the horse's mouth, I don't care.
Things change
except for staff.
Except for Star Wars movie posters that are accused of being taken off the shelf in the booth room and proclaim that you're the one that stole it because some people are suspecting you, but you never did because you already had one because your girlfriend at the time worked at the movie theater as a manager and got it for you. Boom. So I had no reason to take a poster that I already had.
Yeah.
No reason.
How about you look at people that left that had keys to that spot?
Boom.
Oh, that's where we ended.
And that's where we ended. Thanks for joining us, folks.
I have no issues with people there anymore.
Thanks for joining us, folks.
Anybody watching?
I am. Is anybody still with us? I have been one of your hosts, Sean Monk. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to follow us at The Official PFN on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. That's it. And we'll catch you guys next week. What did you say? Never forget the Star Wars fiasco 2017. Oh yeah, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's
good?
funny. Yeah.
All right. Before we leave, I'd like to thank Brandon for coming on. Thank you, Brandon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate being here, and thank you guys for having me and being able to voice my opinions of
for sure
great movies.
Is there anything you'd like to plug? Anything? Twitter, Instagram,
your upcoming
Twitch,
syllabus?
YouTube.
Yeah, not much is going to go on for the next maybe 2 months for me. So, just go watch the other movie or the other YouTube videos that I'm in. We have the Star Wars rankings. We have the MCU, the top 10 we did of the MCU, and then even a couple other ones that I've been on for Black Widow. I believe I was on the review for that as well. So, any of those other movies or any of those other YouTube videos, definitely go check out if you enjoyed listening to us just dabble and talk for the last 2.5 hours about. But yeah, it's been really fun. I really enjoy coming out and hanging out and talking movies. So,
boom.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. We will see you guys.
We'll have you next time. I didn't even sign out. What are you doing?
Oh,
yeah.
My name's Timothy Cornwell, TJ Cornwell. Don't know why I just said that twice. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought about any of the movies in the comments. Check out any of the other videos. Check out the Secrets of Dumbledore reaction I did. And trailer, I'll be honest.
It's the room we require.
And Fantastic Beasts as a whole.
We're leaving. We'll talk about it off.
But yeah, we'll probably have a review Saturday of Hawkeye and Spider-Man No Way Home. So we'll see you then.
Boom.